We are live from Herman Brothers Field in Palmer, Alaska for another beautiful night of Alaska Baseball League action. This is Brad walking alongside me is Connor Mills, where tonight's matchup features the Peninsula Oilers, who are sitting at 19-8 and tied for second in the ABL, and the Matthew Miners 22-14 and atop of the Alaska Baseball League. Anytime you get both top teams together, it's bound to be a fun one. The Oilers come in tonight. They've lost 2 in a row, and the Miners are off a victory coming on Wednesday, as they were off yesterday. So well rested and ready to rock and roll tonight. And we'll go through the Peninsula Oilers starting 9. Leading things off, the center fielder out of the University of San Diego, Paul Kunst, followed by the Oregon State Beaver and first baseman Zach Zaleski. Chad Bible's batting third out of San Diego State and playing left field. In the cleanup spot tonight from Murray State is Grant Wood. He's followed by 2 Roadrunners out of Cal State Bakersfield. Ryan Cook playing as the catcher and Evan Berkey playing second base. Ryan Novus in the 7th hole playing right field out of St. Mary's College. In the 8th spot is Brian Leonhardt, the designated hitter out of San Diego State. And in the 9th spot, rounding things out, is Bryce Bigel, the shortstop from the University of Arizona. And he'll be facing his teammate on the bump tonight for the Miners is an all-star, Jonathan Guardado. The right-hander has been very dominant for the Miners this season. In 33 2/3 innings pitched, has a 2.94 ERA, 2-2, and in 6 game starts, he has 28 strikeouts, 12 walks, and he's only allowed 30 hits. So Guardado looking to have yet another dominant performance tonight as the Miners look to extend their lead over the Oilers and Bucks. Currently sits at 3.5. And they've been good at home this season, 13-4 in total, sitting at a game time temperature of 65 degrees and not a cloud in sight. Can definitely see those mountains over beyond the left field wall. Pioneer Peak is bright and shiny. Paul Kunst steps in the right-handed batter's box and we're ready to get things underway from Herman Brothers Field in Palmer, Alaska. Guardado, tall and strong from the wind. His first pitch of the ball game is fouled back and out of play. Paul Kunst leading things off. He's batting .233 this season with a .299 on base percentage. He's driven in 7 runs and drawn 11 walks and has struck out 14 times. Kunst playing center field tonight, mentioned out of San Diego, University of San Diego. He lifts one in the air to shallow right field. Van Blake moving back, but Nick Brooks will call him off and come in to make the catch for out number 1. So with that first out, we'll run through the defensive starters for the Matsu Miners. Man behind the plate tonight is David Avitia, Tyler Brosetti in the hot corner, Caleb Van Blake playing second base, and Spencer Henson at first. Drew Swift is playing shortstop, and in the outfield from left to right is Danny Wright, Kona Quiggle, and Nick Brooks. So stepping up now is Zach Zaleski, the first baseman out of Oregon State. He looks at a strike on the outside corner. Zaleski, a left-handed hitter from Oregon State. He's currently down on the count, 0-1. Guardado's next pitch is a fastball, so he's ahead in the count, 0-2.
And that's what Guardado does so well. He hit the outside corner, then comes back right inside.
So Guardado's 0-2. This one softly lined into left center field. Moving over and making the catch is Danny Wright for out number 2. So we saw last night with 2 nights ago, Ian Churchill got going early, threw a lot of strikes, got the first 3 Oilers batters. Guardado right now on pace to do the same thing. 2 have been up and 2 have been set down. So Chad Bible will step to the dish from the right side. The San Diego State Aztec was the runner-up in this home run derby in the ABL this year. He'll take a first pitch breaking ball for a ball, 1-0. Mr. Bible batting .250 this season, has reached base at a clip of .306. So the 1-0 from Guardado. Bible thought about it, but held off. So count goes to 2 balls and no strikes with 2 outs here in the top of the first inning between the Peninsula Oilers and the Matsu Miners. Guardado's 2-0. A fastball that is hit high and foul to the right side. So Guardado gets a strike into Chad Bible, 2-1. So Guardado's been very efficient, being considered that ace for the Miners, as he has gone 6 or more innings in all of his starts except his first 2. As Bible dribbles one foul over to the right side, the count goes to 2-2. So he's looking for his 29th strikeout of the season. So Bible steps in that slightly open stance from the right batter's box. Guardado kicks and deals. Bible, a low liner over to Spencer Henson, who swallows it up and touches first base himself. And that is the end of the top of the first inning. So Jonathan Guardado sets the Peninsula Oilers down in order, and the Matsu Miners bats will step up to the plate for the first time tonight when we come back on Matsu Miners Radio. Matsu Miners Internet Broadcast is sponsored by the Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and owner Jim Ruda. Stop into one of your locally owned and operated Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and ask about a Matsu Miners jersey giveaway. So stop in and enter for your chance to win today.
The Alaska Railroad and Operation Lifesaver would like to remind our friends and neighbors when approaching a railroad crossing, always expect a train. Look, listen, live.
Hi, I'm Caleb Van Blake, infielder from UC Davis, and you're listening to Matsu Miners Radio.
Guardado with a perfect top half of the first inning. That'll bring up the Matsu Miners for the first time tonight. And their order goes as follows. Caleb Van Blake, the second baseman, gets things going for Matsu, followed by first baseman out of Oral Roberts, Spencer Henson. In the three spots, the center fielder from Grand Canyon University, Kona Quiggle. Nick Brooks at the right fielder and cleanup hitter tonight for the Miners out of Gonzaga. The designated hitter from Texas A&M, Aaron Walters, bats fifth. In the sixth spot is Danny Wright playing left field from Southeast Missouri State. And in the seventh spot is third baseman from the University of Nevada, Reno, Tyler Brosetti. In the eight hole is the catcher from Grand Canyon, David Avitia. And rounding things out in the ninth spot is the shortstop from Arizona State, Drew Swift. So Tevin Murray will be on the mound, the left-handed thrower for the Oilers. Murray has 6 appearances and 5 starts. In that time, has a 3.64 ERA in 24 2/3 innings pitched, and has a record of 0-1. He hails from Ringtown, PA, by way of Rutgers University. Has 36 strikeouts this season, which is good for third in the ABL, and has only walked 15 batters. So Caleb Van Blake steps in from the left side, and the Miners' bats are ready to get rolling. He swings through a high fastball from Tevin Murray, so the count goes to 0-1. So Murray has one start against the Miners, and they hit him pretty well. It was a no decision in which he went 5 innings, gave up 4 runs, 3 of which were earned. So he delivers a strike on the outside corner to Van Blake. He's now ahead in the count, 0-2. Van Blake batting .323 so far on the season, but now down on the count, 0-2. He'll take a pitch just outside the lower outside corner for a ball. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to the leadoff hitter, Caleb Van Blake.
And for Van Blake, does not strike out a lot. Good plate discipline at the plate.
So Murray's 1-2 is on the way. Van Blake swinging at it, flares it into shallow right center field. 3 Oilers moving in, and diving in to make the catch is Paul Kunst. And the first base umpire, Silas Drayden, said he did not catch it. Third base umpire, James Purnell, said he did. So there is going to be some confusion, and the umpires will meet. And there's a lot of standing around looking at each other. Umpires seem to have things under control, as skipper Ben Taylor coming in from third base saying, hey, he said he was safe. Caleb Van Blake noticed the same thing. So they're going to meet and decide the call. So Paul Kunst came in. It seemed as if he was diving, trying to make the catch. James Purnell, the third base umpire, said he did. First base umpire Silas Drayden said he did not. From our vantage point, it's hard to tell whether he did or didn't. Just saw a shiny leather try to grab the ball.
Well, it was tough for us because we had the 3 players moving in. It was Kuntz coming in from center, Berkey coming in from second base, and then Ryan Novus from right field. So the 3 of them kind of blocked our vantage point up in the press box. And maybe Silas Drayden had a better view.
He did. He is on the angle in which Kuntz's glove was. So maybe that does help. And the final call will be he is out. So that'll go down as an F8 after the long deliberation. Caleb Van Blake can't believe it, as Silas Drayden made the final decision there. So that'll be the first out in the bottom of the first inning. With a slight break, we'll go through the Oilers defense behind the plate for them is Ryan Cook. Over at third base is Grant Wood, the shortstop Bryce Bigell, second baseman Evan Berkey, and at first is Zach Zaleski. Chad Bible playing left field, Paul Kunst in center, and Ryan Novus is in right field. That's the defense for the Peninsula Oilers. So one down, Spencer Henson will step up to the dish. Right-handed hitting first baseman was actually intentionally walked in his first at-bat yesterday as he takes a ball inside because it was a runner on second, and the Oilers said, you know what, we're going to have someone else try to beat us. So the second pitch into Spencer Henson misses low and inside in the dirt, as that'll roll to the backstop, 2-0. And rightfully so, Spencer Henson's second in batting average this season with a .347 clip, and is tied for first in hits with 41. He's also driven in the most RBIs in the ABL with 28, so he's been a dangerous man at the dish. The 2-0 from Murray, this misses yet again inside, so really working that inside part of the plate, just unfortunately can't get a strike to come across. Henson has worked a 3-0 count. He's walked 9 times this season. So the 3-0 pitch, that misses inside yet again. As he hustles down to first, that ball got to the backstop. He'll round first, but hold there. So the Miners get the first runner on here in the bottom of the first inning with 1 out. For Murray, that is his 16th walk of the season. As Kona Quiggle steps to the dish from the left side. Kona had a great night the other night on Wednesday night. Went 4 or 5 with 3 RBIs. All 4 were singles. That was his 11th multi-hit game of the season. So he's coming in feeling very confident, as Murray will have to work from the stretch. His first pitch to Quiggle is a fastball that misses outside, 1-0.
And Kona Quiggle has been one of the most consistent batters at the plate for the Miners all season long. Batting average hanging around or above or 10 below 300. He's just been very consistent over the season.
Murray's 1-0. That misses outside, and Cook has trouble handling it. Henson's on the move, and he'll get there well before the throw does. So Spencer Henson advances to second. I guess it'd be considered a passed ball because Cook had trouble handling it, and it got away from him. So Henson nevertheless stands in scoring position with only 1 out in the bottom of the first inning. The Miners looking to bring across the first run of the ball game. And you mentioned Kona's consistency, batting .304 this season, which is good for 5th in the ABL, and he's tied with Spencer Henson in hits with 41. So the 2-0, it's swung at, slicing foul into the left side. That's going to head over to the bullpen of the Peninsula Oilers on the left side. So the count sits at 2-1 with 1 out in the bottom of the first inning. The Miners with runner in scoring position. That'd be Spencer Henson. Got on with a walk and then advanced over on the passed ball. So a lefty-on-lefty matchup for the second time in the first 3 Miners batters in Murray and Quiggle. Murray from his waist, his pitch. Quiggle flares it out into shallow left field. Chad Bible moving in, diving, won't be able to make the catch. The ball is fair. Spencer Henson will round third. He's heading home. He'll make it. And Kona Quiggle keeps his hot hitting going with an RBI double to give the Miners the first run of the ball game. They now lead 1-0 in the bottom of the first inning.
Just a great piece of hitting from Kona Quiggle. The pitch was on the outside. He took it that way, drove it out there, and Bible just out of his glove, although he made a nice attempt to get it.
Yeah, he really did. Great hustle there from Chad Bible. Just unfortunately was just out of his range. And for Kona Quiggle, he gets things going. 7th double of the season and 18th RBI. So the Miners still have a runner in scoring position with 1 down as Nick Brooks steps to the plate. Right-handed hitting right fielder out of Gonzaga. He's had a nice go of it of late as the first pitch into Brooks misses high for a ball, 1-0. Brooks on a 5-game hit streak is on the season, 6 hits and 18 at-bats. Has also reached in half of his plate appearances. Only hit 1 home run on the season, but did participate in the home run derby, and we see it all the time in batting practice. He'll send him over the wall. So the 1-0 to Brooks is fouled straight back in front of us here in the press box. So the count goes to 1-1.
I don't know if you just heard the PA man, Wolfgang Winter, but that one found a little hole up in the press box and hits us. But that was a fun comment from him.
1-1, 1 down, bottom of the first inning. Miners now leading 1-0 over the Oilers, thanks to Kona Quiggle's RBI double. So Tevin Murray still working from the stretch, Brooks waits on that one and shoots it out into right field. That's going to one hop before Ryan Novus can get to it. Conequiggle will hold up on third, and Nick Brooks is on base with a one-out single in the bottom of the first inning. Nice piece of hitting there from Nick Brooks as he really waited on that pitch and hit it the other way.
Well, again, it's a nice piece of hitting. Like you said, he waited on it and drove it out into right field. Did a job.
So back-to-back hits will bring upon pitching coach Ryan Duran out on the mound to talk to his pitcher, Tevin Murray. So to quick recap of what's gone on in this inning, Spencer Henson reached on a walk, got over to second on a pass ball. Conequiggle drove him in thanks to an RBI double. And then Nick Brooks just had a single. So now runners on the corners for the designated hitter out of Texas A&M, Aaron Walters, the left-handed hitter. Walters this season batting .272 with 28 hits, a .300 on-base percentage. He's driven in 13 runs and only struck out 17 times and has walked 5. So Tevin Murray, who had a rough go of it, we mentioned against the Miners last time, gave up 4 runs, 3 earned in 5 innings of work, has already given up 1 to the Miners right now, and that is the 26th time this season the Miners have scored in the first 3 innings. They currently sit 18-7 when doing so. So they'll look to improve that mark to 19-7. So Tevin Murray from the stretch. There is runners on the corners, and Aaron Walters ropes one into right field. That's going to bring in Conequiggle. Nick Brooks is on his horse rounding second. Ryan Novus's throw in is cut off by the second baseman, Evan Berkey. And the Miners keep this rally in the valley going. In the bottom of the first inning, they now lead the Peninsula Oilers 2-0. Really nice hitting from the Miners right now, Connor. Just shooting line drives out. Not big hits, just hits where no one is, and it brings in runs.
Miners playing a little bit of small ball here. Base hit, double, anything to get on base, and just doing a nice job of it.
So 2-0 is your score. The Miners are feeling it to begin the ball game as Tevin Murray is still working on the mound. He'll miss low and inside to Danny Wright, and the count goes to 1-0. So Aaron Walters stands on first, Nick Brooks on third, and Danny Wright, the switch hitter out of Southeast Missouri State, bats from the right side against the left-hander, Tevin Murray. So Murray's been working out of the stretch ever since the Miners' second batter, and Danny Wright shoots one out into right field, but moving over is Paul Kuntz, makes the catch in left center field. Nick Brooks tags and scores, and the Miners now have scored 3 in a row to lead the Peninsula Oilers in the bottom of the first inning, 3-0. Excellent piece of hitting by Danny Wright. Wasn't the most glorious way to drive in a run, but it worked. So that brings up Tyler Bozetti with 2 outs. And a 3-0 Miners lead. There still is a runner on for Matsu. Aaron Walters on first. And Tyler Bozetti stands in from the right side, the third baseman out of the University of Nevada, Reno, batting .241 this season as he is riding a 10-game hit streak. As he lines one fouling out of play to the left side. He'll go down on the count 0-1. And Tevin Murray really has been struggling coming into this game, and it's really rolling over. In his past two starts before tonight, has gone 8 1/3 and has allowed 10 runs, 9 earned. As his last appearance was a relief appearance, but normally a starter. So definitely struggling from the mound and in the starting position. And right now the Miners are hopping all over it. That pitch missed high and away. The count goes to 1-1. 2 down, bottom of the first inning. The Miners lead 3-0. So Tevin Murray takes a look at first. Now motions to the plate. Bozetti swings through a fastball. Count goes to 1-2. Bozetti has struck out 24 times this season. So he'll adjust his batting gloves and take a deep breath as he steps back in. Tevin Murray looking for his first strikeout tonight and tries to get out of this long first inning. So he takes a breath and comes set. His 1-2. High and inside around the hands of Tyler Bozetti. The count will go to 2-2. So Aaron Walters stands on first in this beautiful night in Palmer for baseball, as the Miners are the best scoring team in the ABL, now up to 172 runs on the season. The 2-2 is dribbled just foul to the left side. So Bozetti will stay alive at 2-2. Mentioned coming into tonight with those 169 wins is 27 runs ahead of the second place run scoring team in the ABL. So the Miners really doing a great job of bringing runs in and giving their pitchers great opportunity as they go throughout the game. So Murray's 2-2 pitch with 2 outs is on the way. Misses low, so Tyler Brosetti has worked a full count. Aaron Walters will be on the move once this pitch is thrown with a 3-2 counting and 2 outs. So Brosetti steps back up, taps the plate a few times, swings the bat and is ready to roll. Tevin Murray's payoff pitch. That is dribbled just foul. So the count will stay at 3-2 as a slight kick from Ben Taylor. And Brosetti, during this 10-game hit streak, his batting average has actually rose .031 during that time. He has 5 RBIs and has also went yard once in these past 10 games. It currently sits at a full count with 2 outs. Murray's pitch. This is inside. The Miners now have runners on first and second thanks to Tyler Brosetti's walk. That's the 15th time he's walked this season. And for Murray, that is only now his 17th issued, second of the night, however.
And this is what the Miners can do to pitchers. Walks, hits, doubles, just chipping away, getting the pitch count high on them and having them leave games early.
David Avitia steps in from the right-handed batting box, and he'll look at a strike in the zone, 0-1. And that's a point that the Miners, I'm sure, looked at before the game as they're 5th in walks coming in tonight with 121, but the Oilers walked the second most batters out of anyone in the ABL with 139. So that's something they look to exploit, and they have done so already tonight by drawing 2 walks as David Avitia takes a high and inside strike, or rather ball. So 1-1's the count, 2 down, bottom of the first inning. The Miners have brought across 3 in this opening inning of play. This is the final matchup between these two teams in the regular season. Murray's 1-1. Avitia grounds it over to short. Big L decides to take the easy route and toss it to second for out number 3. But not before the Miners have 3 hits and bring in 3 runs in the bottom of the first inning to take an early lead, 3-0 over the Peninsula Oilers. We'll be right back on Matsu Miners Radio. Matsu Miners Internet Broadcast is sponsored by the Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and owner Jim Ruda. Stop into one of your locally owned and operated Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and ask about a Matsu Miners jersey giveaway. So stop in and enter for your chance to win today.
Meals on Wheels America.
This is Mario Andretti. You know me as a race car driver, but I'm also a Meals on Wheels volunteer. I've raced against the sport's biggest personalities, but I've never met more vibrant, amazing people than the seniors served by Meals on Wheels. You can make a difference by dropping off a hot meal and saying a quick hello. So, America, let's do lunch. Volunteer your lunch break at America Let's Do Lunch.
This is Kona Quiggle, outfield infield from Grand Canyon University, and you're listening to Matsu Miners Radio.
Miners get things going in the bottom of the first inning with 3 runs. They now lead the Peninsula Oilers 3-0. It's also very similar to their lead on the Oilers in the ABL right now. That sits at 3.5 between the first and second base teams. We get the second inning going with a ground ball that squirts by Tyler Brosetti and will head into left field. So Grant Wood is aboard to begin the second inning. So he'll reach on the E5, and that'll bring up Ryan Cook. Evan Berkey also due up this inning. So Cook batting .254 this season, the catcher out of Cal State Bakersfield, with a .372 on-base percentage. Is tied for third in the ABL with 20 runs driven across, and he has a man aboard right now in Grant Wood. So that's the first base runner allowed by Jonathan Guardado tonight, as Cook fouls one back to the fence. 0-1. Miners really get going in that first inning with 3 runs on 3 hits. They did leave 2 aboard, however. So now the middle infield, or rather Caleb Van Blake's shifted over to the second base bag. Drew Swift still playing in normal position as Cook lifts one foul and into left field ground, but Danny Wright won't be able to make it in time. And Ryan Cook has fallen behind in the count, 0-2. Cook has struck out 20 times this season. And Guardado has struck out 28 batters so far. And a little uncommon, Guardado only struck out 1 in his last start, which was back on July 12th. Guardado's 0-2 pitch. Cook grounds it over to short. Swift gathers it. Underhand toss to second. Van Blake throw to first in time. 6-4-3 double play. Excellent execution there for the Matsu Miners to get 2 outs on 1 pitch. As that'll bring up Evan Berkey with 2 down here in the top of the second inning. Gotta love that middle infield for the Matsu Miners.
Swift and Van Blake, there's a good chemistry, and we've seen it all season long. Just the underhand toss and the quick relay throw. Nice job from the middle infielders.
So Guardado will look to set down the Oilers in 3 for the second time tonight in just the second inning. So Berkey, who steps in from the right side, flashed a bunt, but ended up pulling it back as it was a ball inside, 1-0. So Guardado's 1-0 pitch. This one line just over the head of Drew Swift. Danny Wright will play it off the hop. And the Peninsula Oilers get a base runner on with 2 outs here in the top of the second inning. They still trail the Miners 3-0. As that's Evan Berkey's 23rd hit of the season, only his 4th against the Miners, so now 4 of 25. Nevertheless, that brings up Ryan Novus from the right side. The right fielder out of St. Mary's College. Supports a real strong mustache, I might add. So Guardado will have to get the one more out this inning with a runner on. As he works from the stretch, his first pitch to Novus. He's swinging at it. Danny Wright moving back, but he'll make the grab on the run for out number 3. So the Oilers will leave a runner on in the top of the second inning as the Matsu Miners will bring back up the bats, leading the Oilers 3-0 on Matsu Miners Radio. Matsu Miners Internet Broadcast is sponsored by the Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and owner Jim Ruda. Stop into one of your locally owned and operated Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and ask about a Matsu Miners jersey giveaway. So stop in and enter for your chance to win today.
The Alaska Railroad, an Operation Lifesaver, would like to remind our friends and neighbors when approaching a railroad crossing, always expect a train. Look, listen, live.
Hi guys, Drew Swift, infielder from Arizona State University, and you're listening to Matsu Miners Radio.
Jonathan Guardado gets out of that second inning unscathed, as the Miners have their 9-1-2 batters due up. Drew Swift, Caleb Van Blake, and Spencer Henson. Tevin Murray still on the mound for the Oilers. He gave up 3 last inning, as the Miners currently lead 3-0 over the second place Oilers. And the standings go as follows currently. The Miners are atop at 22-14. Oilers are tied for second, 3.5 back at 19-18. The Bucks are the team tied with them at 18-17. Pilots sit at 4th at 15-18, 5.5 back, and the Chinooks are at the bottom, 7.5 games out, sitting at 15-22. So Drew Swift steps up to the plate, the shortstop out of Arizona State, batting 197 this season with a .257 on-base percentage, as Tevin Murray delivers a first strike to the right-handed hitting Swift. In the outside corner, 0-1. So Murray, after retiring the first Miners batter, really struggled the rest of that first inning until he finally gotten out thanks to David Avitia's fielder's choice. He misses inside. The count goes to 1-1. Murray from the wind. His pitch, that misses well low. Cook had to drop to his knees to stop that one. Count goes to 2 balls and 1 strike. Mentioned the Miners have clinched the season series at 6-4, as all the Oilers can do is be 1 game behind in the series. 6-5. Drew Swift hits one out into right center field. Moving back is Novus and Kunst. Novus will make the overhand grab for out number 1. So your umpiring crew for tonight, Josh Nolan, the man calling the balls and strikes. Over on the first base side is Silas Drayden, and on the third base side is James Purnell. That is your officiating crew tonight. in this Alaska Baseball League matchup. So with one out in the bottom of the second inning, Caleb Van Blake steps into the dish from the left side. Miners leading 3-0 over the Oilers. Murray's first pitch actually hits Van Blake in the back. Caleb Van Blake, the ball magnet, has been hit now 10 times this season, which leads the league. So pitchers just find a way to hit Van Blake. As that was a weird one, a breaking ball that started behind Van Blake and then came in. When it did, it hit him.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to be hit by something, you might as well have it off speed, a curveball. It's not going to hurt too much. Of course, you're being pelted by a baseball, but if anything, breaking ball is something you wouldn't mind getting hit by as opposed to a fastball.
Exactly. So the frustration off Van Blake as he kind of tosses his bat down, but he'll be on first with one out as Spencer Henson swings through a first pitch strike from Tevin Murray. And the Miners, this is when they struck with only one out in very similar fashion. Henson reached on a walk with one out. Now he's at the plate swinging with a runner on. He dribbles this one just foul behind home plate. He's now down on the count 0-2. Henson only striking out 17 times this season. Doing fairly well against the Oilers. 13 of 40 with 13 RBIs against this team. As Murray misses in the dirt, 1-2. One down, bottom of the second inning. Miners lead the Oilers 3-0. They have a runner on first for Spencer Henson, who has 3 hits in the past 2 games, one of which being a home run, and has driven across 4 runs. But he sits down on the count 1-2. Henson, a rocket over the left fielder, Chad Bible. That's going to one-hop the wall. Moving around second and into third is Caleb Van Blake. Spencer Henson slides in with a one-out double. The Matsu Miners stay rolling with the 1 out here in the bottom of the second inning, thanks to a double off the bat of Spencer Henson.
Henson can really drive the ball to left field, and you saw it right there. Line drive right off the bat. Henson can really hit.
Just delivers night in and night out for this Miners team. Last night with a big RBI to really extend the Miners lead. And tonight just keeps the things going here in the bottom of the second inning. They already lead 3-0, but would like to tack onto that lead much more. So with runners on second and third, Kona Quiggle stands in. He looks at a first pitch ball from Tevin Murray, a breaking ball that missed low and away to the left-handed hitting Quiggle, and he brought across the game's first run thanks to an RBI double back in the first inning. So we sit now in the bottom of the second inning. The Miners already with 3 runs on 4 hits. So Murray's 1-0 pitch into Quiggle had him well in front of it, 1-1. Kona supporting the sort of pant up look where it exposes the Sox. Asked him about it last night. He said, just kind of feeling it. And it worked last night, so no surprise we're seeing it yet again tonight. So the 1-1 misses low and away with a fastball. Count goes to 2-1.
Well, if the High Sox worked before, they'll work again.
And they already have shown that. Quiggle already with a double. That was his 7th of the season. Henson now with 10 doubles on the campaign. Kona Quiggle swings through another breaking ball by Tevin Murray. He really has it against him. 2-2.
Quiggle just tried to slow down his swing just a little bit on the breaking ball, but was still out in front.
Henson has 42 hits, and 17 of them, check that, 16 have been for extra base hits. Another breaking ball low. Quiggle holding off, as James Purnell said he did, and now sits in a full count with 1 out. So runners on second and third for the Miners as they lead the Oilers 3-0. As they try to win this final regular season matchup between both of the two teams. They've won 4 out of the last 5 games. So they look to continue that. Tevin Murray's payoff pitch has Kona Quiggle swinging through. 4 out number 2. That's Murray's first strikeout of the night, which is surprising because Murray came in third in the ABL with 36 strikeouts, now has 37. But very similar to his last outing against the Miners. He's given up 3 runs. In that last outing, he gave up 4, 3 of which were earned. Currently, all 3 sit earned. So unless an error brings in Caleb Van Blake, he will have 4 earned runs. So Nick Brooks steps up from the right-handed batting box. The right fielder. He's 1 for 1 tonight. He had a single in his last at-bat. As he hits a hard ground ball over to the shortstop, Miguel, who misplays it, and Caleb Van Blake will come in to score. The Miners extend their lead 4-0, thanks to Nick Brooks throwing one over to shortstop. And now there'll be runners on the corners for the Miners.
Well, it's almost as if you could predict the future, Brad. An error did bring home, and now it's exactly like Murray's last outing. 3 earned and 1 unearned.
Yeah, that seemed to be a pretty routine play, but unfortunately, Bryce Bigell mishandles it. Now has 8 errors on the season at that shortstop spot, as that brings up Aaron Walters from the left side. So Tevin Murray will work with runners on the corners, and he delivers a fastball. Nice block by Ryan Cook, who got over and got on his knees to stop that one. Aaron Walters 1 for 1 tonight with a RBI. Now has 4 RBIs and 6 hits against the Oilers, as the Miners lead 4-0. Tevin Murray misses again outside to Aaron Walters, struggling to find his command Wally. Now Walters has 4 hits now in the past 3 games. So he looks to continue some recent success. As Murray shakes off Cook's first 2 pitches, now is dialed in. Takes a peek at first, now motions to the plate. Walters, a high bouncer in between the hole of short and third. Bigell ranging over, and his throw over to first is well off the mark. So the Miners will keep adding on to this early game success. They lead the Peninsula Oilers 5-0 thanks to Aaron Walters' RBI infield single. I tell you what, Connor, I don't know if I've ever seen a ball hit that high that hit the ground first.
Well, there's a nice little lip out in front of the batter's box right here at Herman Brothers, and the ball must have found that spot, and that was a big bouncer.
That was a tough play by Bryce Bigell, and Zach Zaleski made the wise move to come off the bag to retrieve it. So that brings up Danny Wright, the switch hitter, batting from the right side against the lefty Murray, who has now suffered 5 runs to the Miners. Murray hits the inside corner to Danny Wright. The count goes 0-1. Danny Wright had a sac fly that brought in a run back in the first inning. So the 0-1 pitch, that misses low 1-1. There is some activity now in the Oilers' pen. Nothing going on in the Miners' pen, as you would expect. Guardado has to be happy with this early lead. 1-1 into Danny Wright is fouled off to the left side. Count will go to 1-2. And something about these first 3 innings, when the Miners get going against the Oilers, it tends to be pretty bad, as it's been multiple times this season. The Miners have put 5 or more runs on the board in the first 3 innings. So Danny Wright down on the count 1-2 with 2 outs. Tevin Murray's pitch swung on and missed by Danny Wright. So Tevin Murray finally gets out of the inning, but not before suffering 2 more runs at the hands of the Mat-Su Miners, as they will head into the 3rd inning, leading the Peninsula Oilers 5-0 on Mat-Su Miners Radio. Mat-Su Miners Internet broadcast is sponsored by the Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and owner Jim Ruda. Stop into one of your locally owned and operated Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and ask about a Mat-Su Miners jersey giveaway. So stop in and enter for your chance to win today.
What's up, guys? This is Spencer Henson, infielder at Oral Roberts University, and you're listening to Mat-Su Miners Radio.
Five nothing. The Miners lead the Peninsula Oilers as we enter this 3rd inning of play. And swinging on the first pitch is Brian Leonhardt. Drew Swift moving over to his left makes the nice play for out number 1 to begin this 3rd inning. So the Miners scored 2 runs on 3 hits. There was an error, and they left 2 on. And to end the 2nd inning, as Brian Leonhardt was first pitch swinging for an out to begin the 3rd inning. That'll bring up the 9-hitter Bryce Bigell, who had that error in the 2nd inning, proved to be costly as both runs came in thanks to his error at shortstop. So the 2 Arizona teammates squaring off against each other as Guardado misses low and inside with a fastball. Bigell, only 13 hits on the season, has a 200 batting average, but reaching base at a clip of 316. So Guardado's 1-0. This one tapped up the middle. Drew Swift yet again moving to his left, and this time has trouble gathering it as it took a funky hop into his body. So Bryce Bigell is on. Thanks to that, I would imagine it would have to be hit, but could be scored either way. So Bryce Bigell is on first now for the Oilers.
And that was a tough play for Drew Swift to range over right into the hole. You just become accustomed to seeing him make the hard look easy, and that was a hard play to make, and unfortunately, he didn't make it, but that's an infield single.
So Bryce Bigell stands on first with the infield single with one out, and Paul Kunst looks at a ball away, so the count goes to 1-0. So Kunst, who flew out back in the first inning to begin the ball game, is 5 of 33 now against the Mat-Su Miners. So Guardado's 1-0. This fastball hits the outside corner for strike one. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Top of the third inning between the Miners and the Oilers, the first and second place teams. So Paul Kunst, who went 0 for 3 yesterday, has yet to have a hit as he stands in his second at-bat. So Guardado's 1-1 is flown to the right side, heading towards the Miners bullpen, but it'll head over the fence. So Jonathan Guardado ahead in the count 1-2. He's looking for his first strikeout tonight. We mentioned it was uncharacteristic in his last start, only with 1 strikeout, as he went into that game with 27 in 5 starts. So now he has 28 in 6 starts. So Guardado from the stretch, his 1-2. That misses low. Excellent block by David Avitia. Count goes to 2-2. Paul Kunst, who only has 4 hits in his past 3 games, or rather did have 4 hits in his past 3 games, 4 going 0 for 3 yesterday, as the Miners look to continue that trend. This 2-2 is a breaking ball that's blocked. David Avitia is in front of him. He ran up to it and looked to pick it up, but there was no one covering second in time. So Bryce Bigell will advance on the passed ball. Technically a passed ball, you could say, even though it went in front of David Avitia. And now there's a runner in scoring position for the Peninsula Oilers. Oilers only with 2 hits tonight, as they've been struggling at the plate in the past 2 games. So the 3-2 count from Jonathan Guardado is on its way. Paul Kunst barely gets the bottom of the lumber on it as it bounces to the backstop. He'll stay live at 3-2. Oilers only batting 183, bringing across 3 runs in the past 2 games as they were shut out last night against the Bucks. They dropped that game 3-0. Hence why we're tied at second place in the ABL. So Guardado comes set from his waist. His 3-2. This one is shot in the air into the right side of the infield. Spencer Henson under it. Can of corn for out number 2. 2 outs, top of the third inning. Miners atop the Oilers 5-0. As the Miners scoring 5 runs in those first 2 innings. Really incredible sight from the plate. As it brings up Zach Zaleski from the left side of the plate. He flew out to Danny Wright in left field in his first at-bat and now sits at 4 of 18 with an RBI against the Miners. So Guardado with a runner in scoring position comes set. His first pitch to Zach Zaleski. A fastball that just misses outside, 1-0. Zaleski does have 5 hits in his past 3 games, so hitting very nicely of late. But Guardado with other things in mind. So his 1-0 is on the way. Zaleski lines it out in the left field. Danny Wright diving just out of his outstretched glove. That'll head to the wall. Coming in to score is Bryce Bigell, and Zach Zaleski will jog into second base with a 2-out RBI double. You got to love the effort there from Danny Wright, and really no reason not to dive there, Connor, as there's only going to be 1 run across regardless if Danny Wright catch it or if he doesn't catch it or not.
Well, yeah, exactly. Danny Wright laying out for that one. If it gets by him, that run was going to score anyway. If it doesn't get by him and he catches it, the inning's over. So did a nice job trying to get the out, but 1 run came in.
So Guardado does allow a run here in the top of the third inning. Now the Oilers trail by 4, 5-1. So Chad Bible will step to the dish as he looks at a ball inside, 1-0. So Zach Zaleski with his 3rd RBI of the season. Now 2 out of his 3 RBIs have come against the Miners. So he'll stand on second with 2 outs. Guardado's second pitch into Chad Bible is swung out and popped foul behind us in the press box. So the count is tied up at 1-1. Bible, who grounded over to Spencer Henson at first for a 3-U to end the top of the first inning, does not have any strikeouts in his past 4 games played. So the count's 1-1. Guardado takes a peek at second, now motions to the plate. Chad Bible fouls it off to the right side and out of play, so he's down in the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Bible does have 6 RBIs against the Miners and only has 8 total on the season, so doing the majority of bringing in runs against this Miner team, as there is a runner in scoring position with 2 outs. Guardado from his waist, his 1-2 pitch. This one a warm burner over to second, takes a funky hop, but Caleb Van Blake was ready for it and makes the play for out number 3. So the Oilers do bring across their first run of the ball game. They still trail by 4 to the Matsu Miners, 5-1. So we enter the home half of the third inning on Matsu Miners Radio. Matsu Miners Internet Broadcast is sponsored by the Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and owner Jim Ruda. Stop into one of your locally owned and operated Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and ask about a Matsu Miners jersey giveaway. So stop in and enter for your chance to win today.
The Alaska Railroad and Operation Lifesaver would like to remind our friends and neighbors when approaching a railroad crossing, always expect a train. Look, listen, live.
Hey, I'm Tyler Bassetti. I'm from Nevada, Reno, and you're listening to Matsu Miners Baseball.
Bottom of the third inning, it's the Miners 5, Oilers 1. The Oilers did tack on a run in the visiting half of the third inning as the final 3 bats of the Miners lineup are due up. Tyler Bozzetti, David Avitia, and Drew Swift. Devin Murray still on for his third inning of work. We mentioned Murray in his last appearance was in relief on July 12th against the Pilots, where he went 1 inning, did not allow any runs on 2 hits. But Murray, struggling tonight, has already given up 5 runs through the first 2 innings. Only 3 of which have been earned, but nevertheless, you give up 5 runs. It's definitely tough for your team to come back very early, but they've already started chipping away at it, scoring that lone run. So Tyler Bozzetti steps in from the right-handed batting box and reached in the first inning on a walk. He was retired thanks to a 6-4 put out to end the inning as he looks at a ball high and away, 1-0. Bozzetti has came around to score 3 times in the past 2 games as he sends one into left center field. This one's high, moving back is Bible, looking at it. He won't make the grab as that one goes over the fence. Tyler Bozzetti with his second home run of the season. The Miners now lead the Oilers 6-1 as they have scored in the first 3 innings of the ball game. That one was high and just got over that left center field wall.
Bassetti has really turned things on here near the end of the season, batting average around 240, just hit his second home run. He's coming alive, and it's been fun to watch.
What a way to extend your 10-game hit streak to 11 with your second home run of the season. Both of those have been hit in that span, and Tyler Bozzetti gets things going with a bang in the bottom of the third inning. As David Avitia will try to follow that up, he looks at a ball high and away. So the count goes to 1-0. Tevin Murray now delivers a strike on the outward part of the plate. 1-1. So Vitia grounded into a fielder's choice in his last at-bat that ended the bottom of the first inning. So he looks at another ball, 2-1. So Tyler Bozzetti now has 9 hits against this Oilers squad and 2 RBIs. As mentioned, that was his second home run of the season. Vitia takes a fastball that's low for a strike. Count is 2-2. Vitia has struck out 12 times this season as Murray looking for his third strikeout. Lines and deals. Vitia hits one into right center field. Moving back is Berkey, but coming in and calling him off is Ryan Novus for out number 1. So 1 out now in the bottom of the 3rd inning. The Miners lead the Oilers 6-1. So they avenged that 1 run given up in the 3rd inning. And now the Miners have scored 175 runs on the season as they're in the final stretch before the playoffs. This is only 8 games to go. As Murray misses inside, Drew Swift was dancing out of the way of that one. 1-0. Swift flew out to right field in his first at-bat. So the 1-0 to Swift misses high. Count goes to 2-0. Swifty now on the season against the Oilers, only 4 hits and 40 at-bats, but does have 8 RBIs. So the 2-0 is a strike, 2-1. 2-1's the count. 1 down, bottom of the 3rd inning. Miners lead the Oilers 6-1. So this pitch misses. Drew Swift has now worked a hitter's count against Tevin Murray with 1 out here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Tevin Murray's pitch misses low. Drew Swift flicks the bat and will jog on down to first base as Tevin Murray issues his 3rd walk of the ball game to Drew Swift. And you got to be careful with Swift out there, one of the speediest guys in the ABL. Standing out on first as Caleb Van Blake, the leadoff man for the Miners, steps into the dish from the left-handed batting box. So Murray will work on from the stretch like he's done in every inning this ball game. He checks first. Drew Swift was back in time. So Van Blake, who is 0 for 1 tonight, got hit by a pitch in his last at-bat. It's chopped side, so he'll go down on the count 0-1. And Caleb Van Blake trying to continue the success, much like he had last night where he went runs. He's also had a hit and passed 10 out of his 11 games played. So Murray's 0-1. Or rather ahead of it. Count 0-2 as Drew Swift stands on first base. Thanks to a walk by Tevin Murray with 1 out. So Murray from his waist, his 0-2 pitch. This one is fouled off the helmet of Ryan Cook as he takes it off and then goes down to a knee. And Cook seems to be a bit shaken up by that foul ball. Few deep breaths as he is standing now. Seems to just sort of get a bit rocked right there. So as we have this short little break, we'll just recap what has happened scoring-wise in this ball game. The Miners scoring 3 in the first inning thanks to 3 hits. In the second inning, they had 3 hits as well, bringing in 2 runs. And then so far in the bottom of this 3rd inning, Tyler Rossetti got things going with a solo shot. The Oilers, their scoring has only come in the top of the 3rd inning, where they brought across 1 run thanks to Zach Zaleski's RBI double. So that is where we sit now in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Miners atop of the Oilers 6-1 with 1 down in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Miners with 6 runs, only off 6 hits. So that's pretty efficient as they've been hitting the ball very well of late. It shows they still lead the Athletics. Chatting with his coaches and the team trainer. Seems to be all right. He'll sit back into his catching stance as Tevin Murray will toe the rubber yet again with a runner on first. 1 down in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Van Blake steps back in after fouling it off. He's down the count 0-2. Looks in. Actually, rather, he'll check first. Drew Swift sort of quick hitch that he was going down to second, so Murray wanted to check to be sure he wasn't getting too aggressive. But you got to be careful, Swifty, with those 13 stolen bags this season. The 0-2. Van Blake barely got the barrel of the bat on it and sends it out into right field, moving over near the foul line, but it's foul. So he'll stay at 0-2. Van Blake just almost threw his bat out in front of it. Got a good piece of the ball and was able to drive it out into right field. Van Blake's only struck out 5 times this season. Mentioned that nice 3.23 batting average. Unfortunately, coming into this game is not on the ABL batting average list due to not having enough at-bats yet. But that's going to come definitely sooner rather than later. Caleb Van Blake, typical everyday second baseman for the Miners. So Murray's 0-2. This misses in the dirt. Nice block from Ryan Cook. Will hold Drew Swift at first. So the Miners now have scored 5 or more runs in the past 6 games against the Peninsula Oilers. So really doing a good job getting on this Oilers hitting. Oilers pitching staff, I should say. So the 1-2 is swung on and missed, but that'll go all the way to the backstop. So Drew Swift will advance to second. He takes an aggressive round around second, but he'll hold there as Ryan Cook was sure to hustle and grab that one. But Caleb Van Blake is set down on strikes. That's the 3rd strikeout for Murray tonight, as he'll look to increase his strikeout total, which sits at 39 currently. He came in 3rd in the ABL to tonight. So Spencer Henson will step in with a runner in scoring position and 2 outs here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. The Miners have already scored 1 as they extended their lead 6-1 over the Oilers, thanks to Tyler Brozetti's solo shot to begin the bottom of the 3rd inning. And Spencer Henson steps in. He had a double back in the 2nd inning. So the first pitch actually hits the dirt well in front of the plate. Drew Swift was all on it as he heads into 3rd. So now a 7th run for the Matsu Miners is only 90 feet away. As that pitch hit well in front of the plate, Drew Swift definitely noticed it. So he was on the move right as it hit the ground. So Drew Swift now on 3rd, and Spencer Henson in at the dish from the right side. So he looks to drive in yet another RBI this game. Murray's 1-0. That misses low. That's been Murray's miss all night long. Has been low and in the dirt. So Ryan Cook definitely doing his best, and he's done a great job tonight blocking a lot of pitches.
Well, when you work your catcher like that, eventually he's going to get tired.
As he misses yet again in the dirt, so Ryan Cook has to drop as this count goes to 3-0. Thankfully, for the Oilers, a run is not scored to do a pass ball. So the 3-0 and Spencer Henson pitch barely hits the lower portion of the plate. It goes to 3-1. 2 outs, bottom of the 3rd inning. Miners leading 6-1. Spencer Henson looking to make it his 11th RBI in 7 games. The 3-1 pitch is chopped over to the left side and foul. So it's a full count now with 2 outs, and Tevin Murray has an opportunity to get out of this inning. As the Oilers came in with a 3rd best DRA in the ABL, sitting at 3.42. That'll definitely rise after tonight. Rather, it may not, as it's only 3 earned runs currently or rather 4 earned runs now. As this payoff pitch is on its way, it misses on the outside part. So runners on the corners now with 2 outs for the Matsu Miners. That's the 4th walk tonight, issued by Tevin Murray. Now has 19 walks allowed this season. Brings up Kona Quiggle. He's 1 for 2 this evening. Struck out in his last at-bat in the 2nd inning. So he's the 3rd Miner now to bat in every single inning, as they've been seeing the ball well and getting on base when possible. Tevin Murray's first pitch yet again misses in the dirt. Ryan Cook has just been a brick wall back there tonight, and you can clearly see some of the frustration on his head.
Well, Tevin Murray owes Ryan Cook a steak dinner after this, really working him a lot.
And unfortunately, it's been on a lot of first pitches, second pitches, and it's really not even when he's ahead in counts and wasting pitches, as this breaking ball just misses inside to Kona Quiggle, 2-0. Kona now 11 hits on the season against the Oilers and also has 9 RBIs. So half of his RBIs have come against the Peninsula Oilers. As Tevin Murray's 2-0 pitch is a fastball that barely hits the lower outside corner. Kona Quiggle asking Josh Nolan where that one was, as the count sits at 2-1. Henson on first, Swift on 3rd. Miners looking for their 23rd win this season, as Kona Quiggle taps this one to first. Zach Zaleski comes up to make the play himself for out number 3. So the Miners get a couple of runners on, but they'll leave him stranded in the bottom of the 3rd inning, but not before Tyler Brozetti has a solo shot to extend this Miners lead 6-1 over the Peninsula Oilers. For the middle innings, I'll toss it over to my partner Connor Mills. Matsu Miners Internet Broadcast is sponsored by the Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and owner Jim Ruda. Stop into one of your locally owned and operated Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and ask about a Matsu Miners jersey giveaway. So stop in and enter for your chance to win today.
This is Aaron Walters from Texas A&M University. I'm a catcher, infielder, and you're listening to Matsu Miners Radio.
Grant Wood will lead things off here on the top of the fourth inning. It's the Miners 6, the Peninsula Oilers 1. Connor Mills, Brad Walker with you. Coming to you live from Herman Brothers Field in Palmer, Alaska. It'll be Grant Wood, Ryan Cook, and Evan Berkey all due up here in the top of the fourth. Guardado working out of the windup, and his pitch, first pitch swinging, line drive out into right field for a base hit. Grant Wood reaches base for the second time today. His first hit of the day as he's 1 for 2. Now bring up Ryan Cook, who grounded out into a 6-4-3 double play his last time up. So a first pitch base hit for Grant Wood to begin things here in the top of the fourth, as he dumped that one right into right field. And now Ryan Cook, who came into the day with a .254 batting average, will stand in. Guardado working from the stretch now. First pitch in, swung on, and a little dribbler back right to Guardado, who goes to first base with it in time for the first out. Guardado didn't have a lot of time to go to second base and try to get the lead base runner, but he made the smart move and goes to first. 1 away.
Yeah, he did, and that swing from Ryan Cook was definitely a tired one, as that man has been working tonight behind the plate from the catching spot, so he'll definitely gladly take a nice rest, try to get some water to rekindle before heading back out there.
That's one downside of being a catcher. You are always involved, no matter what, especially on a nice and hot day here today. 65 degrees and more. That's hot for the Alaskan Baseball League, as Guardado's first pitch is a breaking ball that misses high to Evan Berkey. Berkey had a base hit his first time up. Batting .229 in the season, has 15 RBIs. A chance here with a runner in scoring position in Grant Wood. Guardado's 1-0 pitch is on the inside corner for a called strike. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out here in the top of the fourth inning, with the Miners leading the Peninsula Oilers 6-1. Miners scored 1 on a home run, the second of the season, from Tyler Bassetti back in the bottom of the third inning. As now Guardado will look to keep it like this right here in the fourth, as that fastball hit the outside corner. 1 ball and 2 strikes now into Evan Berkey. Berkey does have some extra base power, 4 doubles, a triple, and a home run. 1-2 the count. And the pitch. Swung on, a little tapper over towards third base along the line, but that goes foul. Staying alive at the plate is Evan Berkey. As we said before, the Miners are at the top of the ABL, 22-14 on the season. The Oilers are tied with the Bucks. Oilers 19-18, Bucks 18-17, both 3.5 back at the top. Miners looking to put them into third place today, as we'll see what happens with the Bucks game as they take on the Anchorage Glacier Pilots today. 1-2 count, the pitch swung on, a little flare over into right field. Brooks was frozen for a bit, then comes in to make the catch for out number 2. Holding at second base is Grant Wood, and now there are 2 outs here in the top of the fourth with Ryan Novus at the plate.
Right field number 7, Ryan Novus.
Magic number for the Miners is 6 to clinch first place in the ABL. Six wins and they control their own destiny. As Ryan Novus now stands in. He flew out to left field his first time up. As Guardado looks back at Grant Wood, and now at the plate. First ball misses low and away for ball 1. Novus, .238 batting average coming into the day. 12 RBIs, 7 walks, and 20 strikeouts. 30 for 126. As 1-0. Misses high and away with the fastball. 2 balls and no strikes with 2 outs.
Guardado doing a nice job of not allowing many Oilers runners on, especially when they get on, doesn't lose his composure and on, sticks with his game plan, and then retires these Oiler batters.
Only 1 run across from Guardado as the 2-0 is swung on and towered out into left field. Making the call is Danny Wright, who makes one-hand catch, and side is retired for the Oilers. 1 hit, no runs, no errors, 1 left on base as we're heading into the bottom of the 4th. Miners lead the Oilers 6-1 as you're listening to the Matsu Miners on the Miner Radio.
Matsu Miners Internet broadcast is sponsored by the Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and owner Jim Ruda. Stop into one of your locally owned and operated Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and ask about a Matsu Miners jersey giveaway. So stop in and enter for your chance to win today.
You know what really gets a party started? Indoor baseball. Yeah, just find a broom or a pool cue, and you can use like anything as a ball. Cans, bottles, shoes. Hey, bro, toss me that avocado.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb, but if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and driving, the ultimate party foul. Learn more at ultimatepartyfoul.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
This is Aaron Walters from Texas A&M University. I'm a catcher, infielder, and you're listening to Matsu Miners Radio.
It's the bottom of the 4th inning with the Miners leading the Oilers 6-1. A new man on the mound in Andrew Lopez, who came in relief for Tevin Murray. Murray on the day, 3 innings, 6 hits, 6 runs, only 4 were earned, 4 walks, and 3 strikeouts. He will be on the losing side should everything remain the same. And for Andrew Lopez, a 2-0 record, a 1.84 ERA in 14 games in appearance, has 1 save, 24 1/3 innings pitched, 21 strikeouts to 14 walks, and has allowed 22 hits. His last time out came on July 18th against the Matsu Miners, where he went an inning, allowed a run. It was earned, 2 hits, a walk in 5 batters' faces. He faces now Nick Brooks. First pitch is in for a called strike.
I'll tell you what, the Miners have something against the Oilers starters. They always seem to hop on the Oilers early and then really develop that lead.
Second pitch in is a breaking ball. Looked good, but laid off by Nick Brooks. It was high for ball 1. Brooks on the day. A single in the first and reach base on an error in the second. As we're here in the bottom of the 4th, as he lays off another breaking ball. 2 balls, 1 strike, nobody out here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Miners up 6-1. Nick Brooks, Aaron Walters, and Danny Wright all due up in this inning. From the windup, Lopez is ready. He deals, swung on, line drive, deep out into center field, but taking a couple steps back and making the catch is Paul Kunst. Nick Brooks gave it a ride, but just not enough, as Kunst was there to make the catch. 1 away.
As we did see Lopez the other night against the Miners, and really for the first time all season, again, Lopez against the Miners, they really got to him, getting just that 1 run driven in, but still, Lopez has definitely been an effective guy out of this Oilers pen.
Then as you see a guy, the more you're likely to hit him as a high or a hot chopper over towards first base off the bat of Aaron Walters. 1 pitch, and now 2 outs. Here in the bottom of the 4th inning, Walters retired on a first base unassisted. That's a 2nd out, and Danny Wright coming to the plate. Danny Wright today had a sacrifice fly in the first and struck out in the second against Tevin Murray. First appearance here against Andrew Lopez. Switch hitter, getting ready, stands in from the left side as he takes a First pitch called strike. 0-1.
First time Danny's batting from the left side tonight.
0-1, swung on and popped up out into left center field. Moving back is the left fielder, Chad Bible, who's able to make the catch. It was a funky catch, as maybe he thought the footsteps of Paul Kunst were closer than he thought. But nonetheless, he makes the catch, and that's the end of the bottom of the fourth inning. Miners 6, the Oilers 1 as we enter the top of the fifth. You're listening to the Matsu Miners on the Miner Radio.
Matsu Miners Internet Broadcast is sponsored by the Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and owner Jim Ruda. Stop into one of your locally owned and operated Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and ask about a Matsu Miners jersey giveaway. So stop in and enter for your chance to win today.
This is David Avitia from Grand Canyon University. I'm a catcher, and this is Matsu Miners Baseball.
It's the top of the fifth inning. First pitch into Brian Leonhardt is good to get him swinging as the Miners lead 6-1 over the Peninsula Oilers. Here at Herman Brothers Field, Guardado pitching into the fifth. Second pitch on the way, taken low for ball one. 1-1 the count, nobody out. Leonhardt grounded out to shortstop his first time up, as now he watches this one go by for a called strike. 1 ball and 2 strikes. For Leonhardt, only batting $167, has 6 RBIs, 7 walks, and 19 strikeouts on the season. As the 1-2 is swung on and lifted into foul territory. Third baseman Tyler Bassetti goes near the wall, but he's unable to get it. A little uncharacteristic from Bassetti, not being able to get the ball over near the warning track along the left field side, but tough play to make.
Yeah, I seemed to misjudge that ball as he sprinted all the way over the fence and it dropped just in in foul ground, as the wind is blowing a little bit to the right, so it may have caused it to change.
The 1-2 is taken high for ball 2. 2-2 the count, nobody out here in the top of the fifth inning. To Brian Leonhardt. Guardado's pitch. This one sails just a bit outside. 3-2 the count goes, as now it's run full. Guardado has not walked anybody yet, as now the 3-2 is being delivered. Taken on the outside corner just for a ball. That is the first walk to Brian Leonhardt as he starts things off here in the top of the fifth. Guardado looking to go 5 to get the decision today. He's 2-2 on the season. Look to get the third win, should everything remain the same. Leonhardt on first base. Bryce Miguel now at the plate. He reached base on an infield single to Drew Swift last time up as he takes first called strike. 0-1. Swift ranging all the way behind second base. Ball took a funky hop, but ruled an infield single. 0-1 on the way. Taken all the way for a ball just low and outside.
It's really incredible to see the range that Drew Swift has in that shortstop position. We talked to Ian Churchill. He said if every ball could be hit to Drew Swift, he'd be completely okay with it. And we can see why night in, night out.
1-1. Swung on. A little jam job going the opposite field into right. That gets down for a base hit. Moving from first to second base is Brian Leonhardt, and standing on first is Bryce Miguel. 2 men on, nobody out here in the top of the fifth inning against Jonathan Guardado and the Matsu Miners. Oilers starting a little rally here in the top of the fifth.
And besides that third inning, this is the first time that the Oilers have sort of really got together consecutive hits or multiple guys on base in a short amount of time. And we are moving into the latter part of the ball game. Guys are now seeing Guardado for the third time, maybe even fourth. So makes sense why Jeff Erlob would make a visit to the mound.
Like I said, Erlab making that visit, trying to give the scouting report to Jonathan Guardado as he looks to go through this lineup for the second and third time. Paul Kuntz will be coming to the plate for the third time today. He's 0 for 2, popped up to right fields, and also popped up to first. So he's been taking it opposite field off the bat of Paul Kuntz, who bats in from the right side. Kuntz 233 on the season. That batting average has dipped to 229 with the 0 for 2 today. Has 5 doubles, 1 triple, and no home runs. 7 RBIs with the man running in scoring position. First pitch into Kuntz. He's swinging and a roller over towards short. Drew Swift over to second for 1. The throw is not in time. A fielder's choice for Paul Kuntz. Swift being able to get the trail runner at second, but the turn not in time by Van Blake to try and get Paul Kuntz. There'll be runners at the corners with 1 out here on the top of the 5th inning.
Yeah, nice attempt there for the Miners, but Kuntz just a little too fast, and you can see why he bats leadoff. Nice speed.
So now with runners at the corner, Zach Zaleski will come to the plate. He's 1 for 2 on the day, has a RBI double back in the 3rd inning. First pitch from Guardado into Zach Zaleski gets him swinging. No balls and 1 strike with 1 away.
If you're the Oilers, this is the part of the lineup you want up with a couple guys on. Your first 3 batters, typically some of your best.
Zaleski now with 3 RBIs as he takes this pitch inside for ball 1. Had 2 RBIs coming into the day, 8 walks and 7 strikeouts. As now he bats in 1-1 the count with 1 out. The pitch in, bounced in the dirt. Good block from Avitia. Runners stay at the corners. 2 balls and 1 strike. Outfield playing Zach Zaleski straight away. Infield double play depth. The pitch from Guardado on the outside corner for strike 2. 2-2 with 1 out.
Guardado, definitely a strikeout dominant pitcher. Didn't really see it in his last outing, but normally that's what his go-to is. So going to be interesting to see what he delivers Zaleski right now.
The 2-2 swung on, line drive over to Drew Swift, but outside of his reaching glove. That goes into center field. 1 run will score. It's the Miners 6, the Oilers 2. The second RBI on the day for Zach Zaleski. Runners on first and second base. Just outside of the reaching glove of Swift.
Yeah, it really was. And Zaleski's just been the guy for the Oilers today. Now, as you mentioned, his second RBI. So if that's the only guy you're going to give RBIs up to and it's only 1 RBI, you can't really complain too much.
So Brian Leonhardt came around to score on the RBI single from Zach Zaleski. The score 6 for the Miners, 2 for the Oilers. And now Chad Bible, number 3 batter in the lineup, will come to the plate. He's 0 for 2 on the day, grounded out to first base and also grounded out to second. First pitch swinging. He lines this one into the gap on left center field. Danny Wright charging in, and he'll have a throw. The play at the plate will be no good as the ball bounced into Avitia. The throw down to third. That one gets away from Bassetti as well. A lot going on as it's a RBI single from Chad Bible. The lead is cut into half. It's the Miners 6, the Oilers 3. Moving over from first to third is Zach Zaleski. On first base is Chad Bible, and coming around to score was Paul Kuntz. First pitch swinging from Chad Bible. And that's good for an RBI single.
Yeah, the Oilers starting to really bring it across right now. So going to be interesting to see how Guardado deals with this pressure. Does still have the 3-run cushion, but would not like to surrender anymore.
There are runners at the corners here in the top of the 5th inning. First pitch is swung on and a line drive out into right field. Another run will score. It's 6-4 with runners on first and second base. There are 3 runs in here in the top of the 5th inning. Guardado is getting battered around. Grant Wood with an RBI single, as it's 3 straight RBI singles from the Oilers. Zach Zaleski with 1, Chad Bible with 1, and Grant Wood added his name to the hat as well. Miners 6, Oilers 4. And now Ryan Cook, man with the most RBIs on the Oilers team, is at the plate. First pitch is a breaking ball that misses inside for ball 1. So a different pace for the Miners here, as now they're dealing with 2 runners in scoring, 1 runner in scoring position, 2 runners on base. Ryan Cook at the plate. Guardado looks back, now at the plate. He misses inside again, almost hits him. 2 balls and no strikes, and it looks like somebody's warming up in the Matsu Miners bullpen. That's the count. 2 balls, no strikes, with only 1 out here in the top of the 5th inning. 3 runs in, 6-4 Miners. Guardado's pitch is swung on, and dribbler over to third base. Step on third for 1 to throw over in time. Double play. Right what Jonathan Guardado needed. Ryan Cook rounds out into a 5-3 double play to end the top of the 5th inning. Great defense supporting Guardado here, as the Oilers scored 3 in the inning. It's the Miners 6, Oilers 4 as we head into the bottom of the 5th. You're listening to the Matsu Miners on the Miners Radio. Bottom of the 5th inning. It's a new ball game here at Herman Brothers Field. It's the Miners 6, the Oilers 4. They're starting to crawl back into this one, and leading things off will be Tyler Bassetti, who's coming off. He's 1 for 1 on the day. Had a solo home run in the 3rd inning, his 2nd on the season. As now he will face Andrew Lopez. First pitch is a breaking ball that misses high for ball 1. Bassetti, 1 for 1, had a walk in the 1st and the home run in the 3rd. This is his 3rd plate appearance, as now he's swinging line drive right off the mound that pops out into center field. Bassetti is 2 for 2 on the day, and will now raise that batting average above 250. Bassetti on first with a single.
And we were just waiting for Tyler Brosetti to break out. The swing was there. The swing plane was there. It was just the timing was off for Tyler Brosetti in sort of the beginning and middle part of the year. Finally, it's all coming together, and we can see why. He's at a hit now in 11 straight games. Home run tonight and a single. Gotta love it from Tybo.
First pitch into David Avitia. Avitia was looking to bunt, but that goes into the dirt. 1 ball, no strikes, nobody out. Here in the bottom of the 5th, Miners looking to respond to the Oilers' 3 runs in the top half. Has now given himself up as Avitia. The bunt is pulled back as that one's high and inside. 2 balls, no strikes, nobody out. And for Bassetti, 2 for 2. A run scored, a RBI, and a walk. Batting .254 now on the season. Yet again, Avitia turns around. He bunts this one, but it's popped up. Nobody will get it as that hits the fence right in front of us in the press box. 2 balls and 1 strike. Avitia looking to do a job here and move Tyler Bassetti over from first to second base here on the bottom of the 5th inning.
Bassetti with speed. You definitely want him in scoring position.
Avitia 0 for 2 on the day as he bunts this one foul. 2-2 the count with nobody out. David grounded into a fielder's choice in the first and also flew out to right field in the third. He's looking to get things straight at the plate. With now the count, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Runner on first base is Tyler Bassetti. The pitch from Lopez into Avitia just outside. Avitia might have thought that was on the outside corner, but he's happy to stay in there. 3-2 the count, nobody out. Avitia looking to stay alive. Lopez from the stretch, he deals. This one is low for ball 4. So instead of sacrificing Avitia and moving Bassetti over to second, they both get to go onto the base paths as now Drew Swift will come to the plate with runners on first and second base.
You know, that was the grand plan there from David Avitia. Not actually lay down a sacrifice bunt. This way, he worked the pitcher, and now he's on first thanks to a walk. I'm sure that is exactly what they drew up.
Exactly.
Well, that's one way to move the runner over, and he did his job. So you cannot veer away there from Avitia.
Plus, you save an out.
Definitely.
Give up an out there. So now runners on first and second base with nobody out here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Miners up 6-4 on the Peninsula Oilers. And now Drew Swift, who walked his last time up against Tevin Murray, will look to reach base here again against Andrew Lopez. Swift lays down a bunt, pulls it back for ball 1. So Swift looking to sacrifice bunt now with runners at first and second base. Bassetti's on second, David Avitia on first. Miners looking to respond after they allowed 3 runs in the top of the 5th. The pickoff throw, this one hits Bassetti as that caroms off of him and goes to the second baseman, Evan Berkey.
That couldn't have felt good. It looked like it went right in the middle of Bassetti's hip bone. He's holding it right now, but seems to be fine.
Bassetti's tough. So he's over at second base. He's standing.
Rub some dirt on it.
Exactly. They got ice, right? 1-0 the count into Drew Swift. He lays down the bunt, but pulls it back again as that one goes high and inside. 2 balls, no strikes, nobody out. And now with those 2 balls off of sacrifice bunt attempts, the pitching coach, Ryan Duran, will take a walk out and visit Andrew Lopez. For Lopez, walking a guy who was looking to sacrifice bunt, and then 2 balls to Drew Swift, who's also looking to bunt here. Pitching coach has to be going crazy.
Yeah, exactly. And a few of those pitches have missed high and inside when the batter goes to bunt. So I'm sure he's just telling Lopez, hey, deliver a fastball. Don't throw right down the middle, but throw it basically in the zone because he's willing to sacrifice himself. So instead of possibly walking another guy, just give up the out and don't think about it too much.
For the Oilers on the day, 5 walks, 4 from Murray, 1 from Lopez. As now the 2-0 is taken, the bunt is pulled back for a called strike. Whatever Ryan Duran, the pitching coach of the Oilers, said, it must have worked. First pitch, Andrew Lopez throws after the meeting. He's for a strike. 2 balls, 1 strike, and nobody out. Bottom of the 5th inning. Runners at first and second. Lopez's pitch. Drew Swift pulls back the bunt. And that one will be called a ball. Another pitch that rides high and inside. 3 balls and 1 strike with nobody out.
I wouldn't be surprised if Drew Swift is taking all the way right here, even if he does flash the bunt sign. Make Andrew Lopez throw another pitch, really work the relief pitcher.
The 3-1. This one is bunted, but it's popped up in the air. Pitcher Andrew Lopez comes in to make the catch. Runners will stay where there are at first and second base. The 3-1 bunted in the air from Drew Swift as he is retired. And now the top of the lineup coming to the plate. Caleb Van Blake and Spencer Henson all due up, barring a double play.
That is just not what you want to do if you're Drew Swift. The 3-1 count. Definitely want to keep that barrel up. Unfortunately, may have dropped it, and hence why it's shot in the air. But for the Miners, there is only 1 out, and that runner still is in scoring position.
1 runner in scoring position in Tyler Bassetti, who reached base on a single to begin things here in the bottom of the fifth. David Avitia followed suit with a walk, and Drew Swift popped up a bunt. So now there's one out as Caleb Van Blake is almost hit again as he moves his feet, shuffles more towards the Miners dugout. And he just smiles and looks back at home plate umpire Josh Nolan. He knows he's been hit 10 times this season, and for reasons unbeknownst to us, the 1-0 swung on a missed. Check that. It's fouled off and off the chest pad of the catcher Ryan Cook. 1-1.
Tell you what, Cook is going to sleep well tonight. Whether it's blocking pitches, taking some foul tips, he is going to rest like a child this evening.
1-1 the count into Caleb Van Blake. Van Blake is 0 for 2 on the day. Flied out to center field in his first at-bat, was hit by a pitch in the second inning, and then struck out in the third. The 1-1 is a breaking ball that misses inside. 2 balls, 1 strike, and 1 out with runners on first and second base here in the bottom of the fifth inning. Miners 6, the Oilers 4. Infield in double play depth, outfield playing in shallow. The 2-1 swung on and found straight back. 2-2 the count. Van Blake came into the day batting .323, 20 hits and 62 at-bats, 10 RBIs, 10 walks, and 5 strikeouts. Make it 6 after he struck out in the third. On-base percentage, pretty good at .476 as he's getting ready for the 2-2 count from Andrew Lopez into Caleb Van Blake. The 2-2 swung on and poked out into deep left center field, moving back, going way back, and bouncing all the way to the wall. Slipping on third base, and Tyler Bracetti's running home now. That will hold David Avitia at third. It's a 1 RBI double for Caleb Van Blake. Infield was playing him shallow, and he burned them.
You're exactly right. No, it was very surprising to see the Oilers shifting in. I mean, Van Blake does have 7 extra base hits on the season. He's not a guy that normally rarely leaves the infield, and he made him pay right there. So the Oilers only being down 2, it's very surprising that they had the infielders in. Nevertheless, Caleb Van Blake did a great job. He saw the high pitch, knew that if he drove it, it's going to bring in runs, and it showed right there.
Well, it'll be interesting to see if Spencer Henson will get any good pitches to swing at, as there's a open base at first. First pitch into him is a breaking ball that misses high and inside for ball 1. Recap the inning. Braccetti led things off with a single. He came around to score. David Avitia is on third base right now. He reached the base paths on a walk. Swift was out, and Caleb Van Blake with an RBI double. He stands on second base as this is a hard chopper right to the shortstop, Bryce Bigel, who throws to first in time for the second out. Infield was brought in against Spencer Henson. Bigel was able to make the play and go to first. Holding at third was the catcher, David Avitia. Now Kona Quiggle will stand in, looking to do some damage, extend the lead. It's the Miners 7, the Oilers 4. Quiggle had 3 RBIs in yesterday's game to raise his RBI total to 17. Has a chance to tap fast runner on second base, and Caleb Van Blake. First pitch into him is high and outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Van Blake on second. Over at third is David Avitia. For Kona Quiggle today, had a double in the first inning as he takes this one inside. 2 balls, no strikes. Double in the first with an RBI. A strikeout in the second and grounded out to first in the third. 18 RBIs on the season. The 2-0 swung on. It sounded like he broke his bat as this one's flaring out into left field. Sliding feet first to make the catch was Chad Bible. Now the out call is made by James Purnell, the third base umpire, and that'll do it here in the bottom of the fifth inning. Miners respond with 1 run, but left 2 on base. As it's the Miners 7, the Oilers 4. You're listening to the Matsu Miners on the Miner Radio.
This is Mario Andretti. You know me as a race car driver, but I'm also a Meals on Wheels volunteer. I've raced against the sport's biggest personalities, but I've never met more vibrant, amazing people than the seniors served by Meals on Wheels. You can make a difference by dropping off a hot meal and saying a quick hello. So, America, let's do lunch. Volunteer your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
Hey, I'm Tyler Bassetti. I'm from Nevada, Reno, and you're listening to Matsu Miners Baseball.
Time for the sixth inning now. Miners still leading 7-4. At the plate is Evan Berkey. It'll be Evan Berkey, followed by Ryan Novus, and then Brian Leonhardt. Guardado remains on the mound as he started this game. He's pitching into the sixth inning and has a breaking ball that's good for a called strike. 0-1. For Berkey today, had a single in the second and also flew out to right field back in the fourth. As now he takes a ball in the dirt. 1 ball, 1 strike, nobody out here on the top of the sixth inning. Guardado pitching from the windup. He deals. Swung on. This one's poked out into center field, taking a couple steps back and making the one-hand grab is Kona Quiggle for the first out here on the top of the sixth. Kona had a good read on the ball. First step was back. Routine. Fly out to center field. Ryan Novus now, who has familiarized himself with Danny Wright out in left fields. He flew out to him twice. Once in the second and once in the fourth. As Guardado's ready from the windup and misses low and outside for ball 1. For Ryan Novus, now batting .234 on the season. That's with the 0 for 2 today. As Guardado's pitch is swung on and line drive in foul territory along left field line over near the Oilers bullpen. It does appear that there's some activity still going in the Miners bullpen. Could be Noah Cordova. But we're not for certain. The 1-1 swung on and fouled off. This one going to the first base umpire, Rolando Sanchez. 1-2 from Guardado into Ryan Novus.
Guardado doing a nice job settling in right now after that tough fifth inning, really shaking it off.
1-2, taken outside for ball 2. Infield is playing Novus back, outfield straight away. Guardado pitching from the windup as he looks into his catcher, David Avitia. He's got the sign and he's ready. The pitch swung on, ground ball over to second baseman Caleb Van Blake, who takes it on a couple hops. Throw to first in time for the second out of the inning. Routine 4-3 putouts. And now there are 2 outs with Brian Leonhardt at the plate. Leonhardt on the day. He is 0 for 1 with a walk. Grounded out to short in the third and reached base in the fifth. Also came around to score. He led things off in the top of the fifth as the curveball gets over for a called strike. No balls and 1 strike with 2 away here on the top of the sixth inning with the Miners leading the Oilers 7-4. Second pitch on the way, taken inside for ball 1. Leonhardt batting .165 on the season now with the 0 for 1 as he takes that ball outside. 2 balls and 1 strike with 2 away. He was the first walk and the only walk Jonathan Guardado has allowed.
Yeah, and that really got things going for the Oilers in that fifth inning as they were able to capitalize. Leonhardt starting it off well for them.
Pitch in, swung on and missed. First strike 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs here on the top of the sixth inning. Miners leading the Oilers 7-4. Guardado looking to put the inning to rest. The 2-2. Swung on, line drive, grounder over to Drew Swift, who has it. The throw, and it's a strong one to first base in time for the third out here on the top of the sixth inning. We're going into the bottom of the sixth with the Miners leading 7-4 here on Matsu Miners Radio.
Matsu Miners Internet broadcast is sponsored by the Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and owner Jim Ruda. Stop into one of your locally owned and operated Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and ask about a Matsu Miners jersey giveaway. So stop in and enter for your chance to win today.
This is Aaron Walters from Texas A&M University. I'm a catcher, infielder, and you're listening to Matsu Miners Radio.
New pitcher on the mound here in the bottom of the sixth inning. Trey Brown will come in to relieve Andrew Lopez, who went 2 innings, allowed 1 run. It was earned, 1 walk, and no strikeouts. Trey Brown now in the game, and he had a couple of unearned runs against the Miners in his last outing, which came on the 18th. On the season, though, 2 for 1, a 1.63 ERA in 12 relief appearances, has a save in 22 innings pitched, 18 strikeouts to 6 walks, and has allowed 23 hits. Against the Miners on the 18th, he got the loss. Went 2 innings, allowed 3 runs, none were earned. Allowed 3 hits in 10 batters faced. He looked to have a little bit of a better outing, maybe a little bit of a little help from the men behind him, as all those 3 runs were unearned. Leading things off, number 39, Nick Brooks. Brooks has a hit in the first inning, also has gone on base with an error by the shortstop and flew out to center field. 4th trip to the plate today for Nick Brooks, who came into the day batting .333, had 3 RBIs, 5 walks, 5 strikeouts, and an on-base percentage of .500 in his short season. As first pitch from Trey Brown had swung on and fouled off towards the right side. 0-1. It's the Miners 7, the Oilers 4, here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Things got interesting in the top of the 5th when the Miners allowed 3 runs, but they were able to get 1 across in the bottom of the 5th as this one hits Brooks, his second hit by pitch on the season for Brooks. And now Trey Brown will have a runner on first base with nobody out here in the bottom of the 6th inning. And Aaron Walters at the plate. Walters already has 2 hits today. He's 2 for 3. The only time he was recorded out was a grounder over to first base.
And this is exactly what the Miners did against Trey Brown last time. Got runners on in any way, shape, or form, and then getting those extra base hits to drive him in.
Righty on lefty matchup as first pitch swing is Aaron Walters, who flies it foul right behind the press box and maybe near the beer shack. 1-1 the count to Aaron Walters. Walters now batting .283 on the season, thanks to the 2 for 3 today. Second pitch in, taken just for a ball. Might have missed low. 1-1, nobody out. Bottom of the 6th with a runner on first. Aaron Walters has a lot of pop in his bat, as now the 1-1 is taken on the inside corner. 1 ball and 2 strikes. 9 doubles on the season. That's second to only Spencer Henson, who hit his 10th of the year earlier in the game. 1-2 the count. Nobody out here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Trey Brown into Aaron Walters, who swings and lines this one out into deep center field. Moving back is Paul Kunst, who is able to make the catch. Kunst going a long way to rob Aaron Walters. A lot of territory covered. Paul Kunst records the first out here in the bottom of the 6th.
That's a real tough out from Walters. Definitely got the barrel of the bat on it. Unfortunately, Kunst, with the range he has, was able to get under it. And Trey Brown definitely is thankful for his center fielder right there.
That was a long way to run for Paul Kunst. And a tip of the cap from Trey Brown. Probably saves a run there, as now the switch hitter, Danny Wright, batting in from the left side. He's pulls back a bunt as that one's low and inside for ball 1. So Walters goes to 2-2 on the day, 280 average, as Danny Wright looks to get his first hit of the day. He's 0 for 2 with an RBI, a sac fly back in the first, struck out in the second, and also flew out to left field back in the 4th. Trey Brown from the stretch, he's ready, swung on, line drive out into center field. That will fall for a base hit. Brooks moves from first to second base, and on first with his first hit of the day is Danny Wright.
Nice hit from Danny Wright. Just kept it real simple. That's kind of been the Miners' go-to of late. Are nice, simple swings, flat swings that get the ball going on a line drive basis. And now the Miners just adding more runners on and making it difficult for Trey Brown.
Now Tyler Bassetti, who is 2 for 2. They walk in the first, a solo home run in the 3rd inning, and he also had a single came around to score in the 5th. We are here on the bottom of the 6th with 1 out, runners on first and second base. Brooks is on second. Over at first is Danny Wright. At the plate is Tyler Bassetti. First pitch from Trey Brown misses inside for ball 1. Want to know is the count into Tyler Bassetti. From the stretch, Brown's ready. The pitch hits the outside corner for strike 1. 1-1 the count, 1 down here in the bottom of the 6th inning with the Miners up 7-4. A chance to do more damage here. For Bassetti now batting .254. As coming into today, batting .300 over the last 7 as he swings through a high fastball. 1 ball, 2 strikes with 1 away.
Was that he looking to short his swing there? As that was a healthy hack at it, but with 2 strikes, just looks for something to put in play.
1-2 the count. Runners on first and second base. Infield double play depth. Outfield playing straight away. The 1-2 swung on. Line drive right at the shortstop, Bryce Bigel. Tyler Bassetti didn't have enough on it to poke it over the shortstop Bigel, but nonetheless, runners stay at first and second. Now with 2 outs and David Avitia at the plate.
So a high school teammate just hit it to another high school teammate. Bigel and Bozetti both attending the same high school. So cool to see that they are regathering up here in Alaska.
I'm sure Bozetti did not appreciate his high school teammate recording the out against him, but he'll have to deal with it as the first pitch into David Avitia. He checks his swing, but it's good for a strike anyway. 0-1. Should Avitia keep the inning alive? Drew Swift is waiting on deck. 0-1 the count. Runners on first and second. The pitch in, swung on and missed by David. 0-2. 2 outs here on the bottom of the 6th inning. Trey Brown looking to put the inning to rest. Brooks is on second base. Over at first is Danny Wright. Brown from the stretch, he deals. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Brown is able to get through the inning without allowing a run. It's the Miners 7, the Oilers 4, as we'll throw it back over to Brad Walker for the 7th, 8th, and 9th inning. You're listening to the Matsu Miners on the Miner Radio.
Matsu Miners Internet Broadcast is sponsored by the Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and owner Jim Ruda. Stop into one of your locally owned and operated Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and ask about a Matsu Miners jersey giveaway. So stop in and enter for your chance to win today.
The Alaska Railroad, an Operation Lifesaver, would like to remind our friends and neighbors when approaching a railroad crossing, always expect a train. Look, listen, live.
This is David Avitia from Grand Canyon University. I'm a catcher, and this is Matsu Miners Baseball.
The Miners lead the Peninsula Oilers 7-4 in this battle of the top two teams in the ABL, and Jonathan Guardado, now in 6 out of 8 starts, has gone 6 innings or longer as he steps on the rubber here to begin the 7th inning. You have to imagine Guardado is going to be on a short leash, as it seems Malachi Emmond is warming up in the bullpen, the right-hander. I'm sure if anything goes south, the first reaction will be to possibly pull Guardado, but nevertheless, he will be facing the 9-1-2 hitters of the Peninsula Oilers. Bryce Bigel will get things going from the right side. Hear the cheering going, the annual bullpen dancing before the 7th inning. You got to love the support out of those guys out there in the pen. So 7-4 is your score. The first pitch on the way of the 7th inning. This is lined foul and into that left field fence. So Bryce Bigel, it seems like he has just cracked his bat maybe as he walks back to the dugout.
Took a bit of an awkward swing at it.
So he'll get an option. Yeah, anytime you take a weird swing at it, it'll hit a weird part of the bat. He's definitely taking his time right here. No worries, Bryce Bigel, as he is 2 for 2 tonight with 2 singles. So seeing the ball very nicely. Now has 6 hits against the Matsu Miners, as he came in with 2 hits in his last 12 at-bats, both coming in last night. So back-to-back games, he has multiple hits. He drives one into center field as Konaquiggle jogs over to his right and makes the one-hand catch for out number 1. So for the first time tonight, Jonathan Guardado gets the best of his Arizona teammate with an F8 to begin the 7th inning. As Paul Kuntz will step to the dish, we've definitely seen his speed tonight, beating out a double play, and then last inning really moving back nicely to make a catch. As he steps in, he's 0 for 3 tonight, reached on a fielder's choice back in the 5th inning. So Jonathan Guardado misses outside with a breaking ball. 1 down, top of the 7th inning. Miners atop 7-4. They also lead in the hit category, 9-8, but are both tied with 1 error. So Guardado misses in the dirt with a fastball. Count will go to 2-0. So Paul Kuntz, just like yesterday, has equaled that total, going 0 for 3 so far. He winds and deals. And Guardado's 2-0 pitch misses low. 3-0 now is the count, as he takes an extra step off the rubber and regathers himself. Now gets back on the bump. His 3-0 pitch misses outside, so he'll walk Paul Kuntz on 4 pitches. And the Oilers will have a runner on first with Michael Jorg stepping to the plate, who came on to pinch run for Zach Zaleski back in the 5th inning. So this will be his first at-bat of the game. Jorg, on the season, is 11 of 64, batting 172. And this first pitch is a fastball mishandled by Avitia, and then he was trying to pick up the ball, but then slipped. So unfortunately won't be able to make the throw down, and Paul Kuntz has moved over now on the passed ball. So Jorg now has a runner in scoring position with the count being 1-0, and that'll call for a mound visit from Jeff Erlab, pitching coach of the Matsu Miners. So runner on second, 1 down, top of the 7th inning. Michael Jorgen at the dish. Jorgen mentioned 11 of 64 with a 172 average, has a 209 on base percentage, but only 2 hits in his past 18 at-bats. But seeing the ball nicely against the Miners, 3 of 12. And he's driven in 4 runs this season, so would like to add to that, as the Oilers would like to get going sooner rather than later. Definitely want to do it before the Miners bullpen gets to them, as now they're double-barreled. with Kyle King, the left-hander, and Malachi Emmond, the right-hander, warming up. Nothing going on in the Oilers' pen, so mound meeting adjourned, and Jorg will step in from the left side of the plate with Paul Kuhn standing on second. So Guardado working out of the stretch. He'll try to get out of this slight jam. He comes set from his waist. The 1-0 pitch. This one is grounded into the Miners dugout. It seems like everyone avoids it. So the count will go to 1-1. Oilers trying to break this slight downhill skid as they've lost 2 in a row. Last night losing 3-0 to the Bucks, and then Wednesday night losing to the Miners. So Guardado deals. This one's lined right to first base. Spencer Henson can't make the play. This will roll into right field. Nick Brooks gathered it. Around third, coming in to score is Paul Kunst. And now the Oilers only trail by 2 in the top of the 7th inning as Michael Jorg in his first at-bat drives in a run. And what a time to come in and deliver a big hit for the Oilers as skipper Ben Taylor will take his trip to the mound, and Jonathan Guardado's day is done. So we'll bring the new man on the mound when we come back on Matsu Miners Radio. The Miners lead the Oilers 7-5. Matsu Miners Internet Broadcast is sponsored by the Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and owner Jim Ruda. Stop into one of your locally owned and operated Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and ask about a Matsu Miners jersey giveaway. So stop in and enter for your chance to win today.
You know what really gets a party started? Indoor baseball. Yeah, just find a broom or a pool cue, and you can use like anything as a ball. Cans, bottles, shoes. Hey, bro, toss me that avocado.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb, but if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and driving, the ultimate party foul. Learn more at ultimatepartyfoul.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
What's up, guys? This is Spencer Henson, infielder at Oral Roberts University, and you're listening to Matsu Miners Radio.
So the new effort of relief for the Matsu Miners is going to be right-hander out of the University of New Mexico, Malachi Emmond. And before we introduce Malachi, we'll run through Jonathan Guardado's numbers. He's through 6 1/3 innings pitched, gave up 9 hits. Currently, he has allowed 5 runs, all of which earned, but the runner on first is his responsibility in Michael Jorg. He walked 2 and did not strike out anyone, so that'll end Jonathan Guardado's night. Another solid start is in line for the win if the Miners can hold the lead. But Malachi, we'll go into his stats real quick. This is his 14th appearance of the season. Through 13, has gone 15 1/3 innings pitched with a 2.34 ERA. Struck out 27, only walked 11, and has only allowed 10 hits. Malachi has been pretty good, and his actually last appearance came in the Miners' last game against the Oilers, where he went a scoreless inning and struck out 2 and facing 4 batters. So he'll face Chad Bible, who stands in from the right side. Mentioned Michael Jorg is on first after having that RBI single, and Malachi Emmond will be in charge of holding this 7-5 Miners lead. So righty on righty matchup. Malachi's first pitch is a curveball in there on the outside corner for strike 1. And Connor, Malachi is definitely a guy that always goes for the strikeout, no matter what count, no matter what batter.
No matter what, you can always hear him in the clubhouse saying, go for the strikeout, go for the strikeout, no matter what situation.
He definitely does do that. So his 0-1 pitch, another bender, but this time it misses just high, 1-1. Chad Bible has an RBI to his name today as he had a single that drove in a run back in the 5th inning. Other than that, he has been out, so he's 1 for 3 tonight. Now 8 hits and 7. His 9 RBIs have been against the Miners. So Malachi's 1-1 offering. Curveball, this one just misses high, so the count goes to 2 balls and 1 strike with 1 out in the top of the 7th inning. We mentioned the Miners have already clinched this season series. This is the 11th and final matchup in the regular season. So the best the Oilers can do is 5-6 against the Miners, but the Miners want to go 7-4 against them. Bible lines this one straight back to the fence, so the count is tied up at 2. Malachi Emmon is very dangerous when he has 2 strikes on a batter. So he looks to set down Bible, who has a conversation with Josh Nolan before stepping into the dish. Jorg with a not real aggressive lead over on first. And Emmon's 2-2 pitch. Swung on and missed by Chad Bible. Malachi Emmon doing Malachi Emmon things. As the first batter he sees, he sets him down on strikes.
Well, what do we say? Go for the strikeout. What does he do? He gets the strikeout.
Malachi now with 28 strikeouts on the season, as that's his 9th now against the Oilers, as this is his 5th time seeing the Oilers. So now he'll face Grant Wood from the right side, who chops one over to second, and Caleb Van Blake will make the nice easy play over to first for out number 3. So Malachi Emmon comes in and shuts down the Oilers on any thought of coming back here in the 7th inning, as they do get 1 run across back when Jonathan Guardado was on the bump. But the Miners still lead the Oilers 7-5 as we head into the home half of the 7th inning after we stretch here at Herman Brothers Field in Palmer, Alaska. Matsu Miners Internet Broadcast is sponsored by the Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and owner Jim Ruda. Stop into one of your locally owned and operated Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and ask about a Matsu Miners jersey giveaway. So stop in and enter for your chance to win today.
You know what really gets a party started? Indoor baseball. Yeah, just find a broom or a pool cue, and you can use like anything as a ball. Cans, bottles, shoes.
Hey, bro, toss me that avocado.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb, but if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and driving, the ultimate party foul. Learn more at ultimatepartyfoul.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Hi guys, Drew Swift, infielder from Arizona State University, and you're listening to Matsu Miners Radio.
So the Oilers score 1 in the top of the 7th inning, but still trail the Miners 7-5 as Trey Brown is on for his 2nd inning of relief. He did have some base runners on for the Miners, but worked his way out of it as he'll face Drew Swift, Caleb Van Blake, and Spencer Henson. Brown, the right-handed thrower out of San Diego State, will have a new defensive alignment in the outfield. Ryan Novus goes to left field, and then Chad Bible goes over to right field. So no new men into the ball game, but nevertheless a new positions as Drew Swift stands in. He's 0 for 2 tonight, reached on a walk back in the 3rd inning. So Swift looking to get out of a bit of a funk right now and trying to hit for his 3rd straight game. So Brown from the waist, his first pitch to Drew Swift is looked at for a ball, high and away, 1-0. Mentioned the Miners, this is the 6th game in a row that they've scored 5 or more runs against the Oilers. But unfortunately, with those 7 runs, it's only a 2-run cushion as Brown's fastball misses low and away. Count goes to 2-0. They only lead 7-5. So Swift from the right batter's box against the right-handed Trey Brown. The 2-0 pitch. This one is skied into shallow center field. Moving over is Evan Berkey from second base. He'll make the catch for out number 1. So back-to-back times now, Drew Swift is set down on flyouts as it brings up Caleb Van Blake. Had an RBI double back in the 5th inning, which was brought in that 7th and last run for the Miners. As he'll stand in now with 1 out against Trey Brown. So Brown's first pitch into Van Blake. He towers this one into the left side of the infield. Under it is Garrett Wood, who looks at it for a long time and then makes the catch for out number 2. And before that grab, I was going to mention that Caleb Van Blake now has a hit in 11 of his past 12 games played, but was just retired right there. So 2 outs, bottom of the 7th inning. Spencer Henson will step to the dish. Spencer is 1 for 2 today. He's reached 3 times, twice on a walk, and then had a double back in the 2nd inning. Grounded out, however, back in the 5th. So Spencer looking to keep this inning alive, as Brown's first pitch into Henson is a strike. 0-1. Spencer, the right-handed hitting first baseman out of Oral Roberts, has definitely had himself quite a season so far for the Miners, as this is a hard shot over to third. Grant Wood diving, makes the play, comes up off of his knees, and strong throw to first for out number 3. Nice flash of leather for Grant Wood to end the 7th inning. We'll move into the 8th with the Miners atop 7-5 when we come back on Matsu Miners Radio. Matsu Miners Internet broadcast is sponsored by the Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and owner Jim Ruda. Stop into one of your locally owned and operated Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and ask about a Matsu Miners jersey giveaway. So stop in and enter for your chance to win today.
This is Mario Andretti. You know me as a race car driver, but I'm also a Meals on Wheels volunteer. I've raced against the sport's biggest personalities, but I've never met more vibrant, amazing people than the seniors served by Meals on Wheels. You can make a difference by dropping off a hot meal and saying a quick hello. So, America, let's do lunch. Volunteer your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
It's Josh Hatcher here, infield outfield from Mississippi State University, and you're listening to Matsu Miners Radio.
Eighth inning has arrived, and the Miners will be holding a lead here in the 8th as they are atop 7-5. There's been a combined 18 total hits in this ball game, as both teams have 9 apiece. As the Miners are the best hitting team in the ABL with an average of 256. The Oilers sit in the basement with an average of 201. So they're doing a nice job of keeping pace with the front runners. Nevertheless, Ryan Cook will be the first batter here in the 8th inning. Malachi Emmons still on the mound for the Miners. He delivers a first pitch curveball that misses inside to the right-handed hitting Cook. Cook 0 for 3 tonight, has twice grounded into double plays. So luckily for him, there's no opportunity for that right now, as he'll take another curveball from Malachi Emmons, and the count goes to 1-1. So Malachi retired the last 2 batters last inning. Stays on for relief, as Kyle King, the lefty, is up in the Miners' pen working. Malachi Emmons another strike, so the count at 1 ball and 2 strikes. The Oilers, looks as if Calvin Ferris is warming up for them, a right-handed thrower. But Emmons had the count 1-2. His pitch. This misses outside to Cook with a fastball. So the count goes to 2-2. Malachi Emmons looking for his 29th strikeout of the season. Right now against the Oilers. He comes set from his torso. His pitch. This one tapped up the middle. Drew Swift moving over to his left. Still sprinting. Makes the throw on the run for out number 1. I tell you what, Drew Swift, just a vacuum out there at shortstop.
You could hear the crowd. They just always appreciate what he's been able to do defensively all season long. You know, he makes that play look routine, and it's not. Phenomenal job by Drew.
And great fundamentals. Whenever you're an infielder trying to make a play, you should always move towards the base you're trying to throw to. So whenever Swift is gathering, going from glove to hand, he is moving over to first, almost like he's going to make the play himself. So when he is ready to throw it, he's already halfway there. As this pitch is popped up by Evan Berkey into right foul territory, and Spencer Henson makes the catch for out number 2. So 2 down quickly for the Oilers. Malachi Emmons doing a nice job, as that's going to bring Ryan Novus to the dish. The newly founded left fielder is 0 for 3 tonight. and is 9 of 42 now against the Mat-Su Miners. As Emmon looks to have a perfect inning of relief here in the 8th. So Novus stands in from the right-handed batting box out of St. Mary's College. So Emmon's first pitch, a breaking ball that Novus hits foul and out of play to the right side. Excellent crowd here tonight at Herman Brothers Field. Not have an official number, but if we had to estimate, have to be anywhere around 900 to 1,000 people tonight at Herman Brothers Field. Gotta love the community supporting. Thank you for tuning in wherever you may be throughout the world. 0-1 pitch, that misses high to Ryan Novus, 1-1. So 2 down, top of the 8th inning. The Miners atop of the Oilers, 7-5. They try to hold this ABL lead at 3.5 games, try to extend it to 4.5. And also looking for their 14th win at home tonight are the Mat-Su Miners. They currently sit 13-4. Emmon's 1-1 offering. Novus really didn't want to swing at that, but his hands thought otherwise, so now he's down on the count 1-2. Ryan Novus has struck out in past 4 out of his 5 games played, so Malachi Emmon looks to extend that streak right now. As Emmon now already 9 strikeouts against the Oilers in just his 5th appearance. So his 1-2. This one swung on and missed. Ryan Novus completely fooled David Avitio with the nice block and throw down to first, ensure the strikeout. And Malachi Emmon works a perfect 8th inning to hold a Mat-Su Miners 7-5 lead over the Peninsula Oilers. Mat-Su Miners Internet broadcast is sponsored by the Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and owner Jim Ruda. Stop into one of your locally owned and operated Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and ask about a Mat-Su Miners jersey giveaway. So stop in and enter for your chance to win today.
You know what really gets a party started? Indoor baseball. Yeah, just find a broom or a pool cue, and you can use like anything as a ball. Cans, bottles, shoes.
Hey, bro, toss me that avocado.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb, but if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and driving, the ultimate party foul. Learn more at ultimatepartyfoul.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Hey y'all, I'm Blake Shelton. I love that country music connects people all over this great nation, but unfortunately so does something else, childhood hunger. 15 million children struggle with hunger in America. That's why the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks works to rescue our surplus food to help provide billions of.
Hi, I'm Caleb Van Blake, infielder from UC Davis, and you're listening to Mat-Su Miners Radio.
Welcome you back into the bottom of the 8th inning where the Miners hold a 7-5 lead. So this could possibly be the final time the Miners bat tonight, and they'd look to provide some cushion as it seems like their closer, Bryce Tossan, is up and warming up in the bullpen. So the current 2-run lead, 7-5, as Calvin Ferris is the new man on the mound for the Oilers. He comes in tonight, has 11 appearances, and in 15 2/3 innings pitched, a 2.87 ERA. He's gathered up a record of 2-1, has 10 strikeouts, only walked 1, but has allowed 11 hits. Against the Miners this season, he has appeared 3 times against Mat-Su, has won one of those appearances, and in 3 2/3 innings pitched, has not given up any runs and 1 strikeout. So he'll be facing Kona Quiggle, Nick Brooks, and Aaron Walters, the heart of the Mat-Su lineup. As Ferris last appeared July 17th against the Chinooks, where he went 1 2/3 of scoreless relief and also struck out 2. So the right-hander will face the left-handed Quiggle, right-handed Brooks, and left-handed Aaron Walters. But Quiggle is the first one of the trio to step in. He's first pitch swing, an absolute rocket into left center field. Kona Quiggle rounding first, and he'll put on the brakes as the throw into first, trying to get Kona off the mark. Came in from Paul Kunst. Was not in time, so Kona Quiggle with his second hit of the night, back-to-back nights with 2 hits or more. in his 12th multi-hit game of the season, thanks to that leadoff single here in the bottom of the 8th inning.
And as we said, Kona Quiggle, just a consistent hitter. 1 hit, 2 hits. He always seems like he's getting on base every single game.
That brings up Nick Brooks from the right hand of the batter's box. He has 2 hits tonight and has reached 3 times. Was hit by a pitch back in the 6th inning. So Nick Brooks now has 8 hits on the season, 3 of them coming against the Oilers. So Ferris from the stretch delivers a first pitch breaking ball in for a strike, 0-1. Ferris out of Brown University. So an Ivy League man, definitely has the smarts. But can he figure out this Matsu Miners order? As Kona Quiggle got a hit off of him. So the Miners now with 10 hits. That is back-to-back games. They've had 10 or more. As this second pitch misses to Nick Brooks, 1-1. Brooks with 3 RBIs this season. Would like to possibly add one if he can rope a long hit to drive in Kona Quiggle. Ferris from the stretch is 1-1. This one is bounced over to second. Bryce Miguel moving over. Throw over to second in time for 1. The throw to first is in time as well. So a 6-4-3 for the Peninsula Oilers gets 2 outs on 1 swing of the bat here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Nice routine double play. Nothing better. As the Miners now have 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th, Aaron Walters will step up to the dish. Walters is 2 for 4 tonight. Had 2 hits in his first 2 at-bats and then has been retired in his 2 at-bats after. Miners do lead 7-5 as we're sitting in the bottom of the 8th inning. So Ferris, first pitch into Walters. This is hit over to short, and Bryce Brigel cannot play it as Grant Wood came flying over in front of Bryce Brigel, so may have lost sight of it. And now the Miners have a runner aboard here with 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th inning. And we saw an error on Bigel's way be costly for the Miners. Hopefully it won't go that way for the Oilers, but the Miners would definitely like to add some cushion for their closer. So Aaron Walters is on. And the first pitch into Danny Wright misses low. One and 0. So Danny Wright stepping in from the left-handed batting box. Did have a hit back in the 6th inning. As we have 2 outs here in the bottom of the 8th. This one tapped right back to the pitcher. Calvin Ferris makes the nice backhand play. So he'll toss over to first for out number 1. So the Miners do get a couple of hits, but they only leave 1 stranded. As we'll head into the bottom of the 9th, Bryce Tossan will look to close things out for the Matsu Miners as they lead 7-5 over the Peninsula Oilers when we come back on Matsu Miners Radio. Matsu Miners Internet Broadcast is sponsored by the Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and owner Jim Ruda. Stop into one of your locally owned and operated Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and ask about a Matsu Miners jersey giveaway. So stop in and enter for your chance to win today.
The Alaska Railroad and Operation Lifesaver would like to remind our friends and neighbors when approaching a railroad crossing, always expect a train. Look, listen, live.
This is Kona Quiggle, outfield infield from Grand Canyon University, and you're listening to Matsu Miners Radio.
The right-hander from southeastern Louisiana, Bryce Tossan, is on to try to close out this ball game as the Miners lead the Oilers 7-5 in this final regular season matchup between both squads. So before we introduce Bryce Tossan, Malachi Emmon delivers 1 2/3 of perfect relief as he set down 5 straight batters. So Bryce Tossan is the saves leader in the ABL with 8. And in 16 appearances, has a 1.01 ERA in 17 2/3 innings pitched, has struck out 21 and only walked 5. So Bryce did have the save last night retiring 3-3 Oilers in a row, as he'll face Leonhardt, Bigel, and Paul Kunst. So Leonhardt stepping in from the left side. He is 0 for 2 tonight, reached on a walk back in the 5th inning, which he did end up coming around to score. But nevertheless, he'll look at a first pitch ball inside from Bryce Tossan, 1-0. Bryce, we mentioned, is leading the ABL with those 8 saves. He's 8 of 9 in save opportunities. As this pitch is hit high and over to the left side, it'll go foul, 1-1. Leonhardt, 4 of 22 now against the Miners. And only 1 hit now in his past 21 at-bats. Leonhardt just recently graduated, as he is the San Diego State signee. So Tossan's 1-1 pitch. This nails the lower portion of the plate. He's ahead in the count, 1-2. So Malachi Emmon now has struck out more than one batter in 11 of 13 appearances in his relief appearance. As Bryce Tossan's 1-2, misses outside, 2-2. So it's really incredible what Malachi has done, but it's Bryce Tossan's show now as we enter the 9th inning. His 2-2 offering. This one tapped right back to him. Excellent defensive play as he sprints over and tosses it to Spencer Henson for out number 1. Much like we saw yesterday, Connor, a bit of deja vu. First batter Bryce Tossan sees, hits right back to him.
Well, Bryce fields his position cleanly, does a nice job when he's out on the mound, pitching and fielding wise. And, it's been great to watch him pitch and perform all season long.
Well, we saw about 2 days ago when the Miners last played, about 3 to 4 hours before the game, all pitchers were working on fielding their position with pitching coach Jeff Erlab and assistant coach Tyler LeBron. So it seems like it paid off right there as Bryce Tossan delivers a strike into Bryce Bigel to move the count to 0-1. His next pitch misses inside around Bigel's ankles, 1-1. Bigel, he is 2 for 3 tonight and has now 4 hits in his past 2 games. But an important one would come right here as he bounces this one very shallow. Drew Swift charging in, makes the throw on the run in time for out number 2. Drew Swift keeps it exciting on the infield, and now the Peninsula Oilers are down to their final out here in the top of the 9th inning.
It's almost a defensive showcase. Which player on the left side is going to have a better defensive day? Is it going to be Tyler Bassetti, or is it going to be Drew Swift? And Swift just showing off right there.
And you got to love it. Drew Swift and Tyler Bassetti, just before BP, were putting in that extra work at shortstop. Both of them wanting to get better, and it shows. So the Oilers, 1 out to work with as they trail 7-5. Bryce Tossan with a nice fastball on the outside corner to the right-handed hitting Paul Kunst. Kunst tonight does not have a hit, but has reached twice on a fielder's choice in the 5th and a walk in his last at-bat in the 7th. So his 0-1 is a breaker over to shortstop. Moving over to his right, diving is Drew Swift. A back foot throw is not in time. Paul Kunst beats it out, and everyone sort of smiling, thinking Drew Swift made the play, but they knew it was bang, bang.
Well, sometimes you can't get them all, and this one just a little too deep in the hole. Swift doing a nice job to knock it down and keep it in front of him, and almost got him on the throw.
Yeah, he really did. It was a great play by Swift as he just sort of laughing, much like the rest of the Miners defense, as they knew Drew Swift almost brought the rabbit out of the cap. Nevertheless, there still is 2 outs here in the top of the 9th as Michael York swings through that first pitch from Bryce Tossan. 0-1. So Kunst on first. He has stolen 4 bags this year. The tying run is at the plate in Michael York, but there is 2 outs. The Miners lead 7-5. So 10 hits now for both teams. As Tossan from his waist. This one's fouled out. Fan to the left. So now the Oilers are down to their final strike here in the top of the 9th inning. York in his first at-bat as he came in to pinch run back in the 5th inning. Did have an RBI single in the 7th. But a lot of pressure right now as he's down on the count 0-2 with 2 outs here in the top of the 9th inning. The Oilers playing on the road, where they are 10-11 right now on the season. So Bryce Tossan trying to make it 10-12. He looks in with that right arm dangling. He's 1 strike away from his 9th save. His pitch is outside with a fastball. So 1 ball, 2 strikes with 2 down. So Michael York trying to make his mark known, even though he wasn't in the original starting 9. As Tossan, his 1-2 pitch, misses low and in the dirt. Nice block by Avitia. Did sort of get behind him, but he made sure to get rushed to it, and Paul Kuntz has to stay at first. So the count is now 2-2. York is the tying run in at the box. But with 2 outs, it's going to be tough to get around, especially against this Miners defense. So Tossan set again. His 2-2's on the way. A fastball just misses outside. As once again, the Miners defense started to take a step towards the mound. Nevertheless, the count is full with 2 outs, top of the 9th inning. The Miners trying to get their 23rd win and 2nd in a row. The payoff pitch from Bryce Tossan. That misses in the dirt. As Avitia blocked it, he lost sight of it, but it was right in front of his foot. So Michael York draws the walk after being down in the count 0-2. So that'll bring up Chad Bible, who's definitely been one of the hotter hitters for this Oilers squad. As today, only 1 hit, however, but it did bring in an RBI, so he's 1 for 4 and now 8 of 28 against the Miners with 7 RBIs. That's going to bring a mound visit from Jeff Erlab. Probably they're going to go over the scouting report, I would have to imagine, of Chad Bible.
Yeah, just talk about what Tossan can do to, try to get Chad Bible to ground out, strike him out. Where is he hitting hot? What part of the zone? Is it going to be inside? Is he like the outside pitch? And just change up your pitches. Don't be predictable. Keep them guessing.
And for the first time, actually, now in 5 games, Chad Bible struck out due to the hands of Malachi Emmond. So coming off that strikeout, he'll step back into the batter's box as Tossan trying to slam the door in front of a 1,163 strong crowd here tonight at Herman Brothers Field. Excellent turnout on this Friday night as it's Matsu Regional Medical Center day at the park. So 2 down, top of the 9th inning. The Oilers with runners on first and second. They trail 7-5, so Bible would be the go-ahead run. Tossan's first pitch is a fastball in the lower portion of the plate. He's ahead in the count, 0-1. So York on first would be the tying run as Kuntz stands on second, and Bible in at the dish from the right side would be the go-ahead run as they try to work their way to 500. Chad Bible lines one into center, moving in his Kona Quiggle. He looks at a can of corn. The Matsu Miners are victorious on this beautiful Friday night over the Peninsula Oilers, 7-5. Bryce Tossan gets his 9th save of the season. He'll hold that ABL lead, and the Matsu Miners will improve to 23-14, and the Peninsula Oilers will drop to 500 at 19-19. So the winning pitcher tonight for the Miners is Jonathan Guardado. Run through his stats again, went 6 1/3 innings pitched, gave up 9 hits, 5 runs, all earned, and only walked 2, did not strike out any, however. So Emmond came on for relief, and getting the save tonight is Bryce Tossan. So we will have your post-game show for you coming up here in a few minutes with interviews with skipper Ben Taylor and the Matsu Miners player of the game. So for the final time tonight, the Matsu Miners are victorious over the Peninsula Oilers 7-5. Actually run through the stats very quickly. Miners winning 7-5 off 10 hits and only 1 error, as the Oilers had 5 runs, 10 hits, and 2 errors. So now for the final time tonight, the Miners beat the Peninsula Oilers 7-5. For Connor Mills, this is Brad Walker. And as always, it's been an absolute pleasure.